I love this intro song.
Run it through it.
Oh, I love this intro song so much more. Gus, it's only been
It's been 12 hours.
12 hours since we started the last one.
All my stoke is kind of gone now.
Your stoke?
Yeah, like I was super stoked for the 10th episode.
Yeah, that makes sense. We got a guest, and he is doing some science
He is
currently.
doing some science.
His
on
microphone,
the
his
can, and
microphone,
the microphone
is nowhere to be
found. Headphones
I
on
know
one
we
ear.
can't hear him. We get in here. No, no one can hear you.
We can't hear you at all.
Here's the thing. Let me open this beer real quick.
He's opening the beer.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
One.
Get your mic up to your face.
Turn the gain up then.
Turn the gain up.
Turn the gain because, I come from a church background. So the microphones like to move a lot like this, right?
Really?
So
I'm gonna blast you up.
I'm gonna
then.
go in and out. I'm not gonna hold it up because if I start doing this, right, I'm gonna do that when I get super serious, right? And when I need to make a point and I need the audience to hear it, I'll do something like this, and I'll talk louder.
Yeah.
I'll raise my voice. I'll go, look at this. You need to turn from the wickedness that you're turning, and you need to turn to Jesus will rise. You know what I mean? And then I'll bring it back down. I'll bring it back down when I come back down. That's when the mic starts moving around.
Yeah, okay.
So
that
just
makes
keep,
more
just
sense.
That's fine. Well, I got you cranked up. So
keep
This
the game
mic
up.
is all over the place.
we got you cranked up.
Yeah.
Dude, your hand is like the whole
My
microphone.
hand, yeah.
And
That's what happens.
look at the Bud Light. It looks like one of those mini Cokes.
It does.
How big are your hands?
Dude, how big are your hands?
As
Those
big
are
as my-
big hands, bro. Oh my
dude.
god.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you like sick? How tall are you?
I'm 6'2.5". I tell female 6'3" on Instagram and Tinder. But
Do you get girls off Instagram? Are you one of those guys?
I used to be able to. Now I've kind of mellowed out.
Dude,
and
that's
I'm
such
just-
a weird way to come after a female.
But here's the thing.
Okay,
Listen.
I'm listening.
Their bio says it all.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a woman of God. So, I see
So you can-
I see a female and her bio says NCSU 2023.
Yep.
Sometimes 2025, we don't discriminate on age. Right?
2025. Does that mean they're 17?
Or 18, right? You can definitely. and then their bio also says Proverbs 31, right?
Okay.
There are Proverbs.
Proverbs people are not real.
They're
They're fake people.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Everyone goes to Proverbs.
So it's like boom, she's my wife, and so
Yeah.
Not Proverbs.
then
You
you
don't
just
want a
have to
Proverbs
convince her
girl.
about
I want a Proverbs.
You don't want a Proverbs girl, bro.
What's your move on Instagram? What are you
So
DMing her?
so what you do? It's a process,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, these headphones sound so bad.
You like 2 photos, but these photos can't be of her in like a bikini. They just have to be her in clothes, smiling.
Is
right?
a bikini okay though? Is that a
It can, but
turn-off?
if she's trying to like, if she's doing it for likes and views, right? Nah, but if it's just she's at the beach, it's a genuine smile. You like those 2 photos, one new, one old,
Okay.
right? She's gonna get that notification that she liked her photos.
Yeah.
She's going. She's like, that's kind of weird. And then what you do?
Keep going.
I got it.
Keep going. The light just moved.
I just put my gun away, dude. Should I go bring it back?
You can't shoot a ghost.
No,
Or can you?
And then here, because Gus doesn't have his headphones on, he can't actually hear me. No, but but that's why we got headphones, so you can actually.
I can hear you now.
because like we can't hear each other without.
so
headphones.
mad about the
Right.
He's
headphones.
mad about the
we
headphones.
We can't like.
This is the first guest to be mad
Let's-
about
we'll
wearing
get
headphones.
Acoustics have left the chat.
I want to get into the headphone thing, but I want to hear the rest of this. I'm invested in this story now. So you liked a picture of her that's old and a picture that's new.
Pretty new.
She's like, this must be some weird guy liking all my
No,
stuff.
well, I'm a good looking
Well,
dude.
you're incredibly
Right.
handsome.
Incredibly
Exactly.
handsome. Huge hands.
Do you have an Instagram picture of just your hand?
It should be. That should be your header. Your header is
profile?
just your hand.
Um,
You holding a drink or something.
after that, you take to the DM, and
How do you
Really?
craft it? What do
you
you
can go the route of like talk about her picture, like
Okay.
cute smile. If she posts on her story, she probably posted something like an activism change
Yeah.
thing, right? And
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
She's
oh,
changing the world.
You can go like attractive and smart, or you could do like a pickup line. You just have to base it off where she is in life. You can tell that from her Instagram, her Facebook, and
Her Facebook.
her
baddies on Facebook?
DMing on Facebook.
her political affiliations, right? And you just base it off that. I think I'm 65% when it comes to Instagram DMs.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
that's pretty.
Close,
That's
your
pretty,
closing rate?
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
wow.
a pretty
high.
good rate.
That's pretty high.
It is pretty high. I would think like
So.
20 would be average.
No, well, I'm not an average guy, right?
Right. I guess you're right.
I'm not an average guy, but now that I've actually matured in life, I'm not. I don't play those games anymore.
You don't.
All right? I don't play games like that, dude. I'm like I said before. I am trying.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
There's mild construction.
There's
going
mild
on back
construction
there.
Okay.
going on behind here. We had to do it at noon because we all got stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That-
Yeah. Like I said before, a lot of females,
Yeah.
the trifling ones, put the Proverbs and they put their favorite
Yeah.
Bible. They put the John 3:16, but they actually don't live that lifestyle. So I think when it comes to finding a girlfriend, I just have to meet her at the gym or at church.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I can't even imagine trying to approach a girl at the gym. That's like the most.
boy, let me
feel like that's not a
tell
good-
you, boy.
I feel like that's not a good place.
You, boy.
Jeremy's got some riz going
I
on.
want to see that. Okay, let me hear it. Let me hear the strat. I'm
It's
know.
possible. It's possible. I'm not gonna give you my secrets.
The secret.
All I
You're not
can
gonna-
say.
Whoa, we
all
gotta
I can-
disclose
Well,
the secrets.
Well,
Look at it.
he's got
Are you serious?
patented.
I haven't seen your audience, bro. Your audience might be 6'3" charismatic black men. I can't have them
and
encroaching
they'll
on
be-
my space.
No,
Stepping
most of them work at Goodwill. They can't.
stepping on your
Yeah.
turf.
Yeah.
That's
What?
incredibly funny.
What if we tell you there's none of them?
Yeah.
What if it's all like me?
Gosh,
I want to know the secret.
You horny dog.
I'm not, dude. I'm not.
He really wants to know how to do it now.
I really want to know. I've been going to the gym for probably 4 years, and still, I feel weird approaching in that setting.
The best thing you can do is consistency. Be consistent. Go to the gym at the same time every single day. You're bound to see the same females. They will notice you.
Interesting.
You will notice them.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the like? How do you the line between being creepy and being like suave?
Well, so it's only creepy if you're unattractive.
True. That's kind of true.
And it's absolutely ridiculous. Well, I don't see why that's the case.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true, though. It's true.
It's messed up for all of my unattractive brothers out there. I hate it. Why can't why
hate it
can't
too.
us men stand up for our unattractive brothers the same way females stand up for fat chicks?
Oh,
That's
Why can't
Someone
we
had
do
to say
that?
it.
Why can't
Someone
you,
had to
why
say
can't
it.
why can't us, we as a
Yep.
generation of men, say, just lie? Why can't we just lie
Yeah.
to these boys?
These men are incredibly handsome.
Then
And
look
hot.
at my
Yeah.
king. What?
Yeah.
Here's why we don't.
Why?
Because we're not fake.
that's
Yeah.
true.
We're not fake.
Very
We're
objective.
dripping in
Right.
truth.
Yep.
So
That's why we run the world.
we
you know?
we definitely can. We can, lie to them, but that's not helping them.
yeah.
They're not going to strive to be better.
If we start being fake, the world is gonna burn down.
You think so?
Just imagine. Okay,
If everyone's fake?
if everyone was a woman.
My God.
Can you imagine like a president or something?
What is
All of a sudden
woman?
she gets jealous of someone.
What is
Oh,
a woman?
there we go.
Wait, but before we get there, so back to the whole gym thing. Look. It's not going to be creepy if you're attractive, right?
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
unattractive,
Yeah, true.
work on becoming attractive,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm speaking because I'm looking at Gus right now, and
Hey.
he's a pretty attractive dude.
I'd
So,
say so.
Dude, thank you.
the
man.
audience listening, you know who you are, because no guy has ever lied to you except your father. Right?
True.
True.
If you're ugly, you know you're ugly.
Yeah.
Work on it. Do better, King. then you can rewatch this little segment and go attempt. I don't know.
What are some ways that an ugly man can improve his appearance?
Oh,
Do you just
Obviously,
just-
the one that stands out to me is the gym, the getting in shape.
but also just like posture and hygiene, like basic stuff anyone can do.
don't talk to me about hygiene.
Why you don't like hygiene?
Oh, I love hygiene. I love it so much. and the second you said hygiene, what came to mind? I go to an engineering school, and there are some mother lovers who I don't want to say it because I don't want to get canceled. But my God,
Yeah, there
My
are some
God.
stinky folk at that school.
Boy.
Indeed.
I've been.
they're sweaty.
You know that there's the
They're
yeah.
sweaty.
There's like the the tunnels that go under the railroad,
the
right?
express- tunnel?
The free expression tunnel.
Yeah.
Where you can express yourself.
I don't
if
know.
your opinions align with the liberal. Boy,
That's true. You can't
But I remember walking through those tunnels.
express the wrong thing in there.
no sir.
The tunnels
You have
are,
to express one type of thing.
and it'll get covered up immediately. It's really weird.
Really?
It's like mob mentality in there.
Oh my
Like
God.
if you if you like painted something that everyone didn't like, it's covered up like instantly. And I'm pretty sure we got an email one time where they were like, "We understand that this is supposed to be the free expression tunnel, but we'll take it away if you keep expressing yourself."
My God.
I'm pretty sure they did that. There was like, and like to be fair, it was like people like saying that the gay rights.
the gay rights activist.
They, it was like,
you are gay.
why?
Why are you gay? You are gay. Hey.
Who is gay?
Such a good,
right? I have Julius Pepper.
such
So
a good accent.
you are gay. Why are you gay? No, sir, I'm not gay.
I feel like I'm in the video right now.
It does feel like we're in the video.
Oh no,
That's
no,
incredible.
no. Julius Zuma Pepper. You are gay.
You are.
you are gay. I'm not gay, sir. Gay, sir. Oh man, that's crazy.
Are you gay?
Full disclosure. If you're gay in the audience, do what you want to do. Don't cancel me. You can't cancel me because you don't know my name. You don't know my name. We're going to keep it that way.
Not the last name.
Yeah.
I already said your first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know me. Oh.
You
You don't know me.
We can keep your last name
Oh,
off
you
of
don't
it.
know me. Yeah, that's
True.
crazy. Also,
Might have to blur your face.
Dude,
Listen.
there's already not that much light in here.
I got the ski mask in the car. You know.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah, dude. I could put that on.
I don't think I don't think we're at the point yet where we can get canceled.
No.
You
We're
can
not
get
there
canceled
yet.
for anything. I mean, I had dreams and aspirations to run for presidency at some point in my life, but
It's over now.
I talked to too many people. You know, I said too
Yep.
many things, and now it's gone. I got myself canceled.
You express too much. Too much expression.
I got
You
myself canceled.
genuinely want to be the president of the United States?
I think I could do it.
But not you could. Would you do it?
Yes.
You would want. Really?
Yes.
Damn, I would not.
Yes.
I would not want
I could
that
see.
job.
I could see you doing it.
Why not?
I
I'd
could
be the
see
first.
you-
I'd be the first black man to be president.
Wait a minute.
Not the light skin energy stuff. Nah,
No.
man. Because Barack, cool
Was
dude. and,
Obunga? Was he light skinned?
Obama?
Yeah.
Put some respect to his name. He was our president at some point.
He just called him. He just said, he's like, I'd be the first black guy. And then he's like, are you disrespecting Obama?
Wait, how did I disrespect him?
He switched up so fast.
Yeah,
I'm a
what the heck?
code switcher, bro. I can go from white African.
you- That's gotta be
switcher.
crazy.
I'm a code switcher, bro. I can play the best liberal. Let me tell you this story. I was at a party one time with my boy, and it was actually a Halloween party. I didn't feel like going downtown. Me and Gus were talking about it before the show. I was just like, I kind of just want to stay in. But one of my boys said, come through this little house party. And I was like, all right, what the heck? Might as well.
Okay.
When I tell you, dude, there are some of the weirdest people there. I walked in, I said, oh boy, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I made a mistake, dude. I said, wow.
It was just, where was it?
It was some apartment party. It was
Like close to campus?
No, it was like 10 minutes away. Like we had to hop on like 440, go east or west. Go through construction.
Yeah.
Those
Like
45
it's a
miles.
journey
Yeah,
to get
it
there.
was a journey. And I'm like, this is weird. They're like weird people.
Yeah.
And I look at them. I said, oh, these mugs are liberals. I knew that the second I walked in.
These mugs
smell
are
it on them.
Well, for one, I assume everyone's liberal until proven conservative, just because it's safe that way. Okay?
Yeah, you can't get
I don't want to get
Yeah.
canceled. Cancel culture is real, but I didn't even have to assume. Like I saw them, I saw the lipstick. I said, oh man, I said,
That shade
"These
is only
mugs are
worn by
liberal."
the most liberal of people.
That's the
And,
liberal shade.
Me and my friend, we're conservative.
Okay.
I'm not, I don't even like to say I'm conservative. I just like to think for myself.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was like, I can't. Right off the bat, I mean, politics, and they were just spewing all this liberal propaganda and nonsense. And I was like, well, I don't want to get in an altercation with these mugs because I'm outnumbered. I'm outnumbered.
With these mugs.
Man, when I tell you, I put on the best act. I said, dude, listen here, man. Golf is just, it's gate kept by rich white men. And they were having it, dude. They were having it. They were like,
Yes!
yeah, man.
Yes, that's what
You're
we're thinking.
agree.
And the best part, dude, when we got to social justice, oh boy, jeepers, dude. I was like, yeah, man, the police system, absolutely outrageous. We got to work really hard to do X, Y, and Z, police brutality, breathing, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And no, you guys missed that joke. You guys missed that joke. And they were loving it. It's crazy because my other friend's white. I'm black, so of course they all wanted to talk to me because I was the most oppressed in the room. Yeah. Little do they know I come from a pretty good family and all, but just because of the color of my skin, skin, they assume that I'm oppressed. I'm not oppressed. I'm not.
Obviously.
All right, I'm not oppressed.
He's addressing everybody now.
He's addressing.
I am not oppressed.
I'm not, and they were like, yeah, man. This one dude, he was my biggest fan. Oh shoot, he was my biggest fan. Yeah, that's how you say it.
Right,
I don't want to pull a Dave Portnoy right now. Have you seen that video?
No.
We'll get back to that. And he was like, man, you're so right, dude. And I'm so sorry for everything that you've had to go through as a.
Wow.
as
They
a-
actually said that?
Oh yeah, dude. And
Wow.
meanwhile, my friend is just looking at me. He's like, you really just said that? You really just said that? And he was making me. We'll call him James. my friend James.
Buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like throwing curveballs at me. He was like, "But Jeremy, didn't you say this?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, what I actually meant." And they're like, "Yeah, good answer." Oh my goodness, an articulate black man. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. It was a living hell trying to show face.
And what's so funny is that just you being there and like saying that, they're like extra agreeing. They're like, they're telling this story. They're like, I was at a party.
Well, not anymore.
And we actually had
Not
a
the
black
pot
person
airs.
come through. And he's like, and I'm so excited because I've been so excited to host a black person at my apartment, and I've been trying to be better, but I didn't have any coming through. And he came through and he bestowed us with wisdom, and he has a hard life. And
I wish that were the case. I do have other instances where I know people are using my name. Like, yeah, this black man said this. Little do they know, I didn't believe anything I said. But the funny thing about that party that instance was that after I had left, my buddy Alex, he stayed back. And you guys missed it too. I used James, Alex. You guys stay on your toes, man.
What's the deal with James Alex?
I don't even know.
I'm goofing with you guys. I'm a goober.
What's happening?
What is going on?
What is happening?
Anyways, what had happened was after I had left, my buddy Tom, he
now that was funny.
No, it's interesting.
That one's funny.
Anyways, my buddy, he ratted me out to him because I guess he wanted to fit in with the group. He was like, he was lying to you the whole time. I said, "Oh, why'd you do that, man?" They were like, "Really? He doesn't believe any of the stuff he said?" He was like, "No, he doesn't." And they're like,
Oh my
"Dang,
God.
man." So unfortunately, I can't go back to that place anymore.
That's all right. You don't need to be there.
It's so
It's-
funny. That's so funny. They won't take you back in because you won't admit
I had
that you're oppressed.
I had a very similar experience.
But you're not black.
actually.
Yeah,
I no.
what are you trying to say?
Listen to
You're
this.
not
Listen.
black.
What are you trying to
It was
say?
I got canceled at a party. Like actually, we went out with some friends and we ended up at this apartment and we were all playing beer pong. And my ball hits a cup, hits another cup, and then bounces off. Doesn't get a cup. And I was like,
you
I
suck?
was like, oh my God, that's retarded. And
Said the R word.
That was
You're done.
it?
this guy came over. He's like, come here. And I like, we went over to a corner and he's like, hey man, we don't use that word around here because like, she's got a friend that that's special. I just want you to know, just don't say that word. I was like, okay, and I left. That was it.
They didn't kick you out. You just
No,
left.
I left because I'm like mid beer pong. I was like, if you guys don't like this, then
It's so
whatever. So we were all drinking. Everyone was like having a good time, and I was like, oh man, that's retarded. Like
Yeah.
that's just what you say.
Mm.
Something bad goes.
It's funny because that word to me is so funny because it's not used. I don't think I've ever heard somebody like look at a guy with like Down syndrome and actually call him
Yeah,
that.
look at that retard over there.
But like that's where you get into words like the N word.
You guys.
That was a trap. It's a trap.
Tell me you guys have never seen a black man without telling me you've never seen a black man. For the audience, I'm sitting beside two Caucasian mother truckers. Oh,
Yeah.
he's 1/16th Native American. You guys, that guy.
No, I'm just
I'm actually I'm German.
Oh, you're one of those Nazi.
I'm Hungarian.
It's so funny how much that dude tainted the German
Who? Which guy?
Adolf.
Adolf Hitler?
Yeah, do you remember him? He
did
tainted the whole
he tainted
thing.
the water. Yeah.
I was listening to somebody I think it was like a musician or something. They were like, I don't know how to promote that I'm going to be in Berlin. He's like, I'm just not going to say it. Like, I'm going to be there. It's on the website, but I'm not even bringing it up. Because
What?
he's just like, because he's just like he was like doing like funny stuff that's relative to all of the countries where he's going to.
Yeah.
Like he's like spaghetti in Italy, and then he's like Germany. I'll be there. It's just there. You can't think of Germany as an American. It's when you think of every other country, something comes up first in my head. Like
America.
some just predisposition for that. Or
What comes up? What comes up in America?
Well, I don't have the outside perspective of America.
Canada.
So the first thing you think of with America is Canada.
No. What do you think of? What do you think of Canada?
Oh, Canada. I think of like a dude in a red and black checkered flannel with like, oh hey man, I'm gonna
What about
get some
Colombia?
maple syrup.
Cocaine.
Colombia, I think of coffee, like and guerrilla warfare.
What about Brazil?
Brazil, I think of Rio.
Australia?
Australia, I think of a kangaroo. It's just first thing in my head. Spain, I think of España. They speak with their tongue out, so I just think of like a bunch of pretentious Can I say Spaniards? Is that is that a bad word?
No.
Spaniard?
No,
that just means someone from Spain.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to get. Oh, I know the one I thought it was. I think
Dude, I don't think of anything when I think of Spain.
What about Africa?
Africa.
No water.
I think of
crazy because one, Africa's a continent.
Africa's
Right, let's educate a mug. You know,
Listen, that was my impulse. That was my impulse.
I think of the
lacking of water. Look at me, dude.
I think of
Water
the. I think of the
That's not fair.
pyramids.
That's not fair.
I go pyramids.
In Africa?
Yeah.
Your cat. You stop the cat. Stop the cat. What?
No, I was
pyramid?
thinking of a
What
small
pyramid?
village.
So let's unpack this whole pyramid
Think of
thing,
like a
right?
clay
Because
hut.
Gus just said no water. They used water to move the large bricks to build the pyramids. And if there's no water in Africa, you know.
Wait, you think
it
they
was
use
the
water?
Nile. The Nile River is like the only water in all of Africa, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
It's like I don't fucking
Dude, I've
know.
seen the documentaries. They don't have water.
Yeah,
It's
it's like that.
it's so insane that there are some places that it's just so much harder to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean,
people
look at
just
Detroit.
still
dude.
live there. Yes. No, you're right. You can just
Detroit.
like you could
it's
just
true, though.
move out of Detroit and so many of your like problems from Detroit would be gone.
Yeah, I think moving's just hard for
Moving's
some people.
expensive.
It's
and it's very
expensive,
hard.
and people are lacking the resources and the capital
Yeah.
to actually move, and that's the sad part. What we need to do is we need to work on cleaning our inner cities and ridding our cities of all that filth. And,
Isn't that what everybody says and no one can accomplish?
That is true. I've been hearing
That's
that
why
for
I'm
a
saying
long
it.
time.
Everyone says that.
Okay.
That's why
As,
I agree.
As president,
As president, what are you
what
gonna do?
are you going to do?
All right.
All right, this is a presidential debate format, so you have
Yeah.
2.5 seconds to talk, and then we're cutting you off.
So, because I know there's going to be some post video processing and editing. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 action. So like all the other stuff that I said before can get deleted and burned, right? Because if I'm actually trying to run for president, so you know what I mean.
Sorry.
So like
Sorry, it's already on there.
So someone go 1, 2, 3 action, and then ask the question again.
Okay.
So this is just to help you guys help me. Right?
don't
I'm
know.
helping you guys to help me. You know what I mean? But so as president,
Okay, action.
oh, thank you.
1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1.
As president,
Okay.
how are you going to clean the filth out of the inner city?
The inner cities.
Come on, man.
What?
Oh, I like this.
Come
I like
on,
this.
man.
I've heard this before.
I
can't remember where.
This is familiar.
If it worked for him, it's gonna work for me.
Come on,
Come on,
man.
man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
When you look at the axis of rotation, man, the inner cities, dude, they're just as bright as white kids. They're just as bright as white kids. No.
There's
So
15 million
$15 million trillion in debt.
trillion dollars.
And when I was growing up in Detroit, my dad, corn pop.
Touch me.
My dad, corn pop. No, but in all seriousness, here's what you do.
Okay, let's get it going.
You let them live. You really you let them live. And now I sound like Kamala. I'm sorry, guys.
Opposed to
What do you mean?
letting them die?
What do you mean when you say them?
So. Oh boy,
Let them live, bro.
This is gonna be harder than I
This is
thought.
presidential. What are you gonna do to clean up the interstate? I'm gonna let him live.
It worked for Kamala. It worked for Joe. It has to work for me. But really, to clean up the inner cities, you let them live. What I mean by that is you let them govern themselves and let them realize how stupid they can be sometimes. and when I say they, I'm not talking about any particular race. I'm not talking about
More
any.
like a they them.
Well, not even that. I don't believe in the
Listen,
gender.
you know the times are changing.
That stuff is so wild because like it's so complicated.
How can it be? One, so you let them
complicated.
live, right?
Okay,
we're gonna unpack that
yeah.
complicated
Or-
nonsense.
No,
You let them live.
You let them die.
You let them govern themselves, and if for whatever reason they determine that they don't like this country, I actually want to start a campaign, a nonprofit organization. It's called the Send 'Em Back campaign.
Oh, they tried that before.
The Send 'Em Back campaign, right? Where you know, if someone doesn't like this country, if the police, the system is racist, inherently racist towards black people, Hispanics, people of color, people with mental illness regarding their gender identity,
Down syndromes.
you know, you send them back to where they want to go. So for Africans or for black people, they don't like white people. They don't like this country. We would buy them a one-way ticket to Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, any of the African countries. Any one of them. We'll send them back. I call it the Send Them Back campaign.
You know what the Back to Africa movement
So it's basically
was, right?
just deporting people.
No, it's not. What's the Back to Africa
Back to
movement?
Africa was based on a widespread belief among some American or European Americans in the 18th and 19th century United States that African Americans would want to return to the continent of Africa.
No,
in
but-
general, the political movement was an overwhelming failure.
See, that's a political movement that was done by white people. Probably the racist white people.
It was. They were
Right,
like,
right,
we're
right.
gonna let them now that they're not our slaves anymore.
Yeah, so-
you can go back.
You can go back.
go back.
So no. This would be different in the sense that they're choosing to go back. They come to us and we
Okay,
give them
yeah.
a ticket. Like we'll let them fly first class too. We won't even do them
Yeah,
dirty and put
first
them on
class.
a ship.
Yeah, first class
nah,
back.
dude. We'll put them on a plane. And when they land or when they get on the plane, whatever the case may be, we take their passport, we take their green card, we take everything that ties them to the U.S. and we rip it up, we burn it, and they're done. You're gone.
I like that idea.
I think no one would
Send
do
them
it.
back.
Yeah, I think they would.
Because of course they wouldn't do
yeah.
that because they all talk, they all shout. They say this country's racist, this country's X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, they love this country and they will never leave this country because of the rights that they have.
That's like he dropped the microphone.
You did drop the microphone. Wow.
That's like it's like calling their bluff. It's like
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
who's
calling
like,
their
I'm gonna
bluff.
leave this country. It's just calling their bluff.
Yeah.
Give them like we'll pay.
But
for
what
it.
about
We'll
all
pay for you to leave.
the stuck up people that are here right now? What do we do with them? Where do they go back to?
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
lot.
like the white people?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like. How many generations are we into America?
They'll just find some new political,
could send 'em-
argument or political
yeah.
whatever. Shit, I'm forgetting the word. Political movement
We could
to
send them
cling
to
on to.
Hawaii.
And no, just send them to freaking California. Let California secede from the union.
Yeah.
You combine Utah into one state, and then you split New York.
You combine Utah with California?
No, just Utah or Dakota, the Dakotas.
Okay.
Dakotas,
I
yeah.
like
You
that.
just make a Dakotas. Actually, you let SoCal secede from,
Interesting.
So
and you leave NoCal.
SoCal's its own thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
because SoCal's, that's where all the liberals are, right?
That's like Hollywood and stuff.
Yeah, Hollywood, L.A. You
Los
leave.
Angeles.
You leave NoCal with the union.
And then the northern splits and the
Mhm.
southern splits.
Yep.
I like that. I like that idea.
Northern California is just like a bunch of people in the desert
Yep,
riding
yep,
dirt
yep.
bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
You've earned my vote.
Then there it is.
Just like that.
Okay,
Well.
let's do a thought experiment.
Go
real
for
quick.
it. Go for it.
Let's say I snap my fingers and then every human on Earth is the same color, same height, same one type. Like there's no difference in like physical gender anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like every single person looks identical. The only way you can tell they're different is if they tell you they're a different person. So you have to just like identify by your name or whatever. There's literally no difference in any human. How quickly does something along the lines of racism start happening, where they figure something out?
That would be impossible. How could you be racist if everyone looks the same? There's now no race because our minds are so small that we only equate race to the color of your skin, even though race is so much more
then
than
when
just the color of your
you
skin.
don't-
If you have a
think-
different name.
Right? And
It-
I feel like I read a book about this.
Really?
The Giver? Is it The Giver? Where everyone
Giver.
had black and white vision.
Yeah, they
and
couldn't
the
see.
yeah. And like it's a dystopian society, but in a way,
You don't think-
in your hypothetical, it would be utopian, and there would be no wrongdoing. There would be no discrimination.
You don't think they'd find a way to separate people into groups? They'd
No.
figure out a way. They'd like the.
I think if they're humans, they would.
I'm saying they're humans. I'm not saying they're perfect of mind. I'm just saying they're exactly the same mind, but you get put into like everyone looks exactly the same, and like everything else is the same physically. I still think there would be sects of society, and there would be like people who just hated other groups of people.
But if everyone's the same, there's no group. It's all
That's
one
true.
big group.
Yeah,
Everyone's the same.
Well, look at
what
how-
ma-
you can
what
think,
makes a
I think
group a
if you
group.
can think, then you'll eventually get segregated.
look how ridiculous like.
But he said they're all of the same mind.
They're the same mind.
Yeah.
Well, then it would be like ant pile. It would be like a superorganism.
No, when I say same mind, okay, yeah, that's confusing. When I say same mind, I mean the same mind you had before, except you just don't have memory of being like white or black or whatever.
Then,
But
yeah,
you can,
there's
can
no-
think.
You can think like you're a
Then
human.
yeah, it would eventually happen.
I feel like it would still be like we'd
But
figure it out. We'd like
what
put
would you
different stuff.
What
on
would you think
people.
about that would set you apart?
Well, why is
The
everybody?
political climate,
Think
or
about why is his name Paul
Well, okay.
Okay, so then there would be segregation by
by name?
name.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It would be like the
Oh, boy.
Adams versus the Tylers.
Now I have a question that I might be. I don't know if it's. I think it's fine. Is racism a naturally occurring thing in a large enough society, or is it? Did we fuck up?
Why are you looking at me, man?
Because we're having a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at the black man.
Hey.
You gotta look at the black man.
Jeremy, how do you
don't
feel?
have to ask me, man. You can ask. You can ask.
Jeremy.
I want to hear what you guys actually think about this now, and then I'll formulate an
I
answer.
think in a large enough society, it just
So
happens.
funny. I think it's naturally
Because you think
occurring.
about all the other countries are way more racist than we are. I mean, not every other, but like most European countries, most.
So, and there's some countries that have almost everybody looks identical, and then they have
India.
and they have smaller groups.
Pakistan.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding,
yeah,
ding.
exactly, bro. It just happens. That's just the way it is.
Well, look at I mean, probably I'd say most of China is Chinese people.
That's right. That's exactly right.
High
No.
IQ has less the chat. What do you expect, bro?
But most of,
Oh my goodness.
but like,
You think they have the Chinese grapers there where they're like, I don't want to be a minority in my own country, boy.
I'm gonna look up the demographics of China.
Chinese, bro.
Yeah, I want to say just because of China's ecosystem, it's going to be mainly Chinese people, and they're like not allowed to leave. Yeah,
It's
you're not allowed to come in. You're not allowed to go out. What is that graph, bro?
I'm not sure. Oh, it's population.
Ooh, he's fat now.
King Republic of China.
I think it just happens. I think it's a natural thing. Humans are too dumb.
I think it's just Chinese people. Well, like you can't say, even if you say American, all it means is the nationality. It doesn't mean a race. But Chinese is both.
No, I thought the race was yellow. Because you know, I thought race was just color, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna say races in China.
If you're yellow, black, or white.
Oh, so there's 55 ethnic groups in China.
But they're all the same.
Oh, I could read it. No, I can't. Ah Chang Bai Bo Nan
I'm Chung Bang Bonan.
Bao Ye
10 minute, 10 minute.
Bleng
Spring
Dai
roll. Spring roll.
Daur Dong.
Yes, spring roll, egg roll.
Arrow, you are arrow. All right, 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
I know you've seen that. Oh my god.
I was getting Chinese food for myself, and my little brother was in the car with me, and I was just joking with him, like this is how they talk, 10 minute, 10 minute, and me and him were just joking about it. Still haven't placed my order, so I'm driving in the car. I go to place the order, right, and I'm still in my head. I'm like speaking in the accent. Yeah. So they answer the phone. I go, "Can I get 2 fried rice? 2 fried rice?" I'm like, oh shoot! I just mocked their accent. I just mocked
2 fried
Oh
rice,
my
2
God.
fried rice.
Crazy enough,
You
it
said
wasn't
semi
even a
chicken,
Chinese
fried rice.
person who answered the phone.
You get free egg roll.
It was some white chick. It was a white lady, dude.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, this is bad, bro.
A white woman talking to a black man speaking with a Chinese.
2 fried rice, 2 fried rice, 2 arrow. It's crazy. I let my little brother pick up the food when we got there.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
One of my favorite professors at NC State,
Dr. Tran.
Dr. Tran.
Dr. Tran.
His accent is so perfect
What
for
the
his.
hell?
Hey, what the hell?
Well, how you get that answer?
How you get that answer?
How do you get that answer?
What the hell going on? I can't even really do it, but
He's an Asian guy?
Yeah,
Vietnamese.
He's Vietnamese, and it's so funny. He does not try to he's like some Vietnamese guy's like dad or grandpa. Like he doesn't, just because he's a professor, he doesn't even talk. Like he's like, what the hell going on here? Like so many of my other professors try and speak very, very professionally and all this, and he's like, what the hell? Where you get that answer from?
Look. When you're doing your homework, maybe just do the first problem with the textbook and your note. After that, close it. And if you can do the rest of the homework without the notes, you're home free.
You're home free. Home free. Like, that's just BS. That's just bullshit.
No, dude, I love Dr. Tran.
Oh, what did he say?
That mug.
I had a summer class with him. I had a summer class with him, and I had 2 group mates that were doing like absolutely nothing.
For vibrations, right?
Yeah.
I think we're in the same class. I think we were in the same
Yeah,
class.
we were.
I don't know
And
why
my
we were in
two-
the same group.
He didn't let us pick them.
Oh, okay.
So there were these 2 kids that were 12-hour time difference from me because they were in China.
Yeah, I remember this.
And after the first project, like I told him, I wrote him up we had to do peer reviewer or whatever. So it was obvious that like I made it obvious they didn't do anything, but I didn't really like complain. Like I wasn't trying to be like a bitch about it. And then after that, he assigned us the groups again, and it was the same groups. And my like heart sank. I was like, I can't do this again by myself. They're hard projects. And so I'm like, I stayed after like the class in Zoom, and I was like, Dr. Tran, I want to like have a private talk with you, whatever. And he's like, hey Tyler, what's going on? And I'm like, he just like pops up and he's like, what going on, Tyler? And I'm like, Dr. Tran, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, and I don't want to sound like I'm, you know, on whatever I said. And I'm like, but my group, and he's like, I already know what you're gonna say. He's like, they're being a bunch of bums. And I'm like, yes, that is what's happening. And then he's like, and then
look at that bum from
like,
California looking
so,
bum.
Tyler,
California looking bum.
I tell you what I'm going to do. They got Indian. That sounded Indian. I will tell you what I'm going to do.
Ding ding ding.
I tell you what I'm going to do. And he put me in a different group, but it was.
Oh yeah.
They are a bunch of bums.
I know what you're going to say.
They're a bunch of bum. Nah, me and Dr. Tran, I'm not gonna say we go way back, but in that same class, it was the last class we had. We were reviewing for the exam, and I stay back, and we just get to talking, me and Dr. Tran, and we start talking about California and how he was like, California, man, it's a different country. It's a different country down there. I'm like, I had a country accent.
Yeah.
Different
country down there.
It's hard to hold that accent. It's really hard.
And he's like, man, I go into it because I like to lift weight, you know. And I went into one of the stores where Arnold Schwarzenegger went in. I bought a shirt for $50, man.
$50, man.
It's like a different country. So we get
in a different country down there.
We get into conversations about the liberalism of California, gas prices, the economy. I mean, inflation before the Biden presidency. Yep. You know what I mean? And we're just talking, and then he comes in a little closer to the camera, and he tells me, I'm not gonna, try and fake the accent, because this is a really important life lesson from one of my favorite professors. But he goes in, closer to the camera. He says, look, man, I should preface, this was, we transitioned from talking California to like life lessons and raising a family and career goals. He said, look, wow. but at the end of the day, you're going to get older. You're going to get a wife. You're going to have kids. Life is not always about career. It's not always about pursuing the bag, but it's pursuing relationship with the people you care most about. And I said, that's powerful. That's deep.
That is cool, especially from someone in his position, because so many of those people are trying to get you into the whole ecosystem of
masters.
It's like, yeah,
get a master's, go for a PhD, stay in school.
That is powerful.
He was cool. He was so real.
Bunch of bums.
He was so real, and he was hard. Like, his classes were the hardest classes I've ever taken, because he holds you so accountable. There's no cheating. There's not even a way to cheat in his class. And it's just you and him trying to teach you, and he genuinely wants you to know it. And he's very tough on his students, and he was my favorite. I think he was my favorite professor at NC State.
Yeah. He's a good guy. Honestly, one of the reasons why I like him a lot is after our conversations, I said, well, Dr. Tran, this was like 30 to 45 minutes after the lecture, right? So we were talking for a long time. I said, well, Dr. Tran, my grade. I have to study for this exam. I was like, my grade. And he kind of chuckled at that because he knew my grade. He knew my grade. And we take the final exam. There was that multiple choice portion and then the written portion that we had to submit to Moodle. Right.
Moodle.
After I took the multiple choice portion, I did the calculation. I was like, even if I got a 100 on the written portion, I still wouldn't pass the class.
Oh
I still wouldn't pass the class. I did even worse on the written portion, but Dr. Tran came in clutch.
Really? That's
He came in clutch and gave me an individual curve. And I passed the class with credits.
And that's not, people will talk about, that's not fair, that's blah, blah, blah. But it's, he knows what he's doing, and he's not trying to fail people. He's just trying to teach and inspire. And he gets people through. And I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about good professors or teachers, or even, it doesn't even have to be part of a school. It's like someone who's a guide in some way in your life. They don't cut you slack until the last minute. And it's not in a way where it's trying to make you, stressed out or be unfair to other people. It's just like teaching you more. It's fully enveloping you. Like, you almost failing that class taught you more lessons than if he was just like, Jeremy, by the way, I'm going to give you whatever grade you need to pass. If he told you that going into that test, it would have been way different.
That's true.
And if he was like, if he told everybody, I'm doing a curve, so don't even worry about but instead you're stressed, you're studying, you're trying to get it done. You have a commitment and you have to get it done. And then afterwards he's like, well, he's like, I know he's not stupid, so I'm gonna bump his grade up because he doesn't need to take it again. He doesn't need to take the class again. But he's like, but he learned.
Well, I think one of the things that helped me out is that I took the time to build a personal relationship with him. I'm
sure of that too. Yeah.
And that's happened. You just have to know your audience, who you're talking to, who your professor is. And I've done that every semester. I've been in school, and it's only not worked 3 times. Right.
But you make
I
it sound
still
like
passed the class. I just wanted a higher grade.
How many times has it worked?
Oh, it works all the time. Because I will ask people, like, how much did you get? Like, how many points did you get curved? And I'll make it an effort to know, like, the average curve around the whole class is, just to see if my curve was just a tad bit higher. I went from
he's got like multiple spreadsheets open. He's like, my curve better be better than everyone else's.
It's just like you make that personal relationship with people, and
you put in the effort.
They'll help you out, because professors, they're humans too.
Yeah, and that's something that goes beyond the university structure is very weird. It's similar to the corporate structure, but it's even weirder. The power dynamic is even weirder because you're not getting paid. You're paying them to have this power over you. It's just a strange dynamic. It's a strange social dynamic. But there's a lot of weird lessons like that to be learned. And that's the same with everybody. Like, if you know the guy at the gas station.
Sure.
That's why we're renting our house, because we just know the guy from the gas station who owns it.
True.
So it's like, and you just talk to him, you're not just like ignoring him, like you make a rapport with him. That's like, it's everywhere in life. It's not just that, like, go talk to your professor, make a relationship. I have my grandpa is the kind of guy who knows everyone. He tries to get to know everyone he can. And it's annoying sometimes when you want to go and he's talking to some stranger in the parking lot of Lowe's Home Improvement. But it's very interesting to watch. My dad has this story of he and my grandma were they were in Hawaii on vacation, and someone comes over and he's like, Dave, and just sees my grandpa, and my grandpa goes and talks to some dude like he knew somebody everywhere. I swear he knows more people in North Carolina than I do, and he only stayed here like part-time for a couple years.
My God.
So he's one of those guys who just so social, it's not even funny. And it works in his benefit all the time. Like, he can call a favor if he needs it, and it's not like...
Dude, that's it. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know.
That is true.
So do you think Dave is just trying to manipulate people?
No.
Or this is
No.
his genuine self?
It's him genuinely.
So he's not meeting people just so that, if he needs a favor from this guy, he can call that favor.
Absolutely not.
And that's the beauty behind it. I don't think when I talk to professors, Right, I'm in my last semester now.
Yeah.
When I talked to him, I wasn't doing it just to like
To make sure you can get your grade at the end.
No,
Yeah.
but like I genuinely like talking to them, and you know, I'll go back and talk to some of the professors in their office hours, even though I'm not in their class anymore.
I'm sure that they can tell the difference right away. I'm sure that if you walk in just trying to like brown nose, I'm sure they know.
Oh yeah,
100%.
They know
I
who's
know.
in there just trying to get a good
100%,
grade.
most definitely.
Yeah, being genuine is everywhere. It's so important. The fake stuff bothers me to no end. People who are just fake. It just, to me, like I don't really care. Like I'll watch people be fake to each other. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Somebody's obviously fake to me and they have this like
Can't stand it.
fake persona to me. And I can just tell it's not them. It just is so like disrespectful.
Yeah.
I feel disrespected.
What are some signs to tell if someone's fake or not?
Usually it's like you can tell by their inflection.
Yeah, it's a reflection.
Like how
They're like too bubbly. They're like, I don't know. It's like it feels like everything's rehearsed. It's a weird feeling, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it does. It's really hard to define why exactly.
Because there are some just like genuinely really nice people and really outgoing people, but there's a difference between that type of person and the person that's fake.
Sure.
That you can just feel it.
I know people who are so social and outgoing and bubbly, and it sounds like you almost think that they could be fake, but then you realize they're not.
Oh, this is them.
Yeah, but then there's the other way too, where sometimes people are really good at being fake, and you don't know.
Oh, I think a huge issue too is that if you know someone for a really long time, and they see you go through a social transformation, right? They'll be like, Jeremy, you weren't acting like this when you were in high school.
It's bizarre.
You're fake. I know why you're laughing, but dude, I'm just like, dude, I took the time to reinvent myself. Right? And I don't think I'm a fake person.
I don't think you're fake.
No.
I don't think you're
But
fake.
Other people do, and I'm just like, dude,
Because you have a little bit of that thing going on where you're very, I'm not even gonna say hypersocial, but you're very outgoing, and you kind of have that. I want to reach out to everybody and like meet people, introduce myself, make a good impression. You definitely, I could tell that's up there in your values. Is like making an impression on people. Like even you can tell immediately when someone introduces themselves to someone they'd never met. You know, that's kind of a big point in meeting somebody is the first time you ever say something to them.
Yep.
And I always like to, you know, if I can make some contact, like shake a hand or or even fist bump. Sometimes you can't tell what the person's going to want to do. But that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like fist bump, handshake, dap up.
As men, we do handshakes now.
I agree.
I've been moving to more and more just doing a handshake.
Just go in with the handshake.
But so
people
many
want to go in like this, but
Yeah.
I stay firm with this.
Yeah.
I used to do this, and
Dude, so many people want to
No.
freaking fist
No.
you.
I don't like the
We're men.
fisting.
we're men.
Oh, I'm going to pee.
If I have to pee too.
I have to pee too.
Okay, let's pee. Park ranger. That's such an interesting. How did you?
I wasn't a park ranger, dude. I was just a park employee. I call myself a park ranger.
Well, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, I had no authority.
Do park rangers actually have it? Yes, they do.
Yeah,
Because
they
they
do.
wrote us a ticket.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had zero authority.
So no authority. You're just there pretending to have authority.
Yeah,
Are you just picking up trash or something around?
When I first started, yes, but I moved up the ranks, dude. I moved up the ranks, and like some
Yeah.
of the older people, they left, so I was now the senior. And boy, let me tell you, dude. I actually, believe it or not, you know, we give our manager hate all the time, but I think he did a pretty good job. I think he was a good leader. But I learned a lot about leadership there, keeping a cool head, because like I had to. There are times where it was me. I was the guy. I was that guy. You know, you had
The defender of the lake.
You had to get like employees straight. I was that guy who said like, look, this is your job. I can't do it because I have X, Y, and Z responsibilities. This needs to get done. I'm telling you to do it.
That's a hard thing to do, too.
Right?
Is that hard for you or no?
It used to be. I got better at it. There was this one instance, and I'm not a snitch. Like you wronged me, I'm not going to tell someone, but it was that same exact situation. And this girl, she was a girl. She was, I don't even think 18 at the time. Mm-hmm. I was like, it's busy. She's down in the boathouse doing like kayak rentals and whatnot. And we have our conference room that people can rent out. And I was like, look, conference room needs to get cleaned. I can't do it because we've been having transaction issues. I'm the only one who knows how to troubleshoot the point of sale system and get things working if there's another issue. So I can't leave the office. I said, someone from the boathouse, can one of you guys come up and help clean the conference room? Mm-hmm. Right? We're about to close the register in like 20 minutes. So I was about to once the register's done, I do the count, I would go help them. Like, I'm not just going to leave them to do it by themselves. Mm-hmm. And they're like, that's not our job. Our job's the boathouse. I was like, whoa. I was like, one of you guys, I don't care who it is, come up and clean the conference room.
And you're authority, right?
I'm the shift manager. Like, I'm that guy.
You're that guy.
I'm that guy.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't care who it is. And the chick was like, no, we're gonna stay right here. And so the other dude, I actually liked him. He was like, don't worry, I'll come up and do it. Right. This was like his second week there, so he didn't want to, he wasn't comfortable talking on the radio. So he was just like, don't worry, I'll do it. So he actually came up and helped. And I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So because it was just him, I actually closed the register early, just because I'm not gonna have this guy he's never done this before, So I'm like, let's close the register early. Let's go help him.
Okay.
Right. We get that done. I'm like, dude, you can sit in the office. She will put all the boats away. I was like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. So I was like, all right, boat rentals are over. Register's closed. Put the boats away. She was like, that's your job. That's what you're
hit her with it, bro.
House.
You freaking backhanded her.
I was like that. And after that, the very next day, I was like, wow, she really just did that. She that's crazy. And I was like, that's crazy. Not the next day, because the next day was Sunday, but on Monday I was working, and I was like, I usually don't snitch, but I'm like, that's not professional at all.
It's also not really snitching.
The radios, patrons could hear that whole thing. I mean, even the cashier that was in the office started back talking, and I was like, guys, be professional on the radio. Stop. Right? Because people could hear us. Mm-hmm. And, I went to our assistant manager. I was like, I closed the door. He was like, oh, shoot. Jeremy's closing the door. I'm a pretty...
Hello.
What's up?
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm a pretty...
Oh.
Oh.
Thank you.
You guys got food. Look at that.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Thank you.
But,
appreciate it.
Carry on.
I'm a pretty chill dude, and the assistant manager knows that. The assistant manager also knows that I didn't tell them everything that went on. And so when he saw me close the door, he was like, oh, shoot. This is serious. Mm-hmm. And I was like, look, someone has to say something to her about something, because I'm not the only one that she's disrespected like that.
Yeah.
But.
And you don't have the authority to really discipline or fire her.
No.
And he does.
The manager does, yeah.
So it's not really, to me, that's not snitching, because it's there's a chain of command. and you need to use some of the power. You need to like offload some of the power of discipline to the person who can do it.
Yeah.
And your job is to maintain these people. So you have to report back how the maintenance went.
That's not snitching.
Yeah.
I don't think that's snitching. If it was someone who didn't work there, it's like, I want to talk to the manager. And they went to the manager and they were like, this girl is being so unprofessional on the radio. Like, whatever, that's a complaint, but that's snitching. Because you don't have, like, there's no chain of command, there's no process involved.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that's, like, what else are you going to do? How else are you going to solve that problem you're solving a problem for your manager.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want people at the bottom of the pole, doing
Back talking
and tainting the public relation of the.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because this generation of workers, dude. When I first started, like everyone who was there longer than us, we knew that there was a chain of command, hierarchy, all of that stuff, right? Even if, like it happened before, someone was there for a super long time and he didn't have any desire to be a shift manager. So he just stayed at the low. But then someone else got hired as a shift manager. And like even the shift manager was like, all right, you've been here longer.
Yeah.
How do I handle this? And there was like that respect. Now, dude, when I became top G
the guy.
of Lake Wheeler,
top G,
right?
Guy.
Dude, workers that we were hiring were literally terrible. Like, just tell you no to your face.
That just makes no sense.
Tell you no to your face,
every
dude.
law of working.
And I was just like, holy moly. The amount of people I like, we made Muggs scrub the docks. Yeah. Like, and like all the shift managers, like we were like, dude, that Mug's scrubbing the docks today. That Mug's, like, that was about all we could do. We would just say like, oh yeah, from on top, they want the docks cleaned.
Well, we both worked at Jersey Mike's, and I remember one time we had this girl, every night you had to take bread. We would get the bread. It was already in like bread
break bread
sticks.
and have communion.
Yes, we had bread sticks, right? And they're like frozen dough, and you would just put them in all these trays, and then they would start to rise overnight in the walk-in refrigerator. So it was like, or the walk-in refrigerator, yeah. So they start to rise overnight, and then in the morning you put them in like a proofer, and you have all these trays. You have to make like hundreds of loaves of bread in the morning, so it has to be right. The count has to be right, and you have to like sprinkle some cornstarch down, and then put the bread on top of it. And so we would always make the new people do bread because, usually it was 7:30. You could start doing the bread, and at that point, like whoever was there, like me, I could run the whole line. Like because we would get like one customer at a time, maybe two. I could handle that. But so I would be like, you go clean the lobby, you go do bread, you go clean the bathrooms, and I'll just handle customers and the money and stuff. And I remember there was this girl that we had hired like very recently. She was new, and I was watching her from the front line. I was looking back, and she slowly pulls her glove off. Like she's not in a rush to be doing what she's doing. Her glove that you have to wear gloves while you're like handling the food. She slowly pulls the glove off, slowly grabs her phone, and then sits there on her phone holding her glove in her hand. I swear she's scrolling through Instagram. Like it's not like she's answering an important text. And she's just sitting there doing the phone. Unbelievable. And then I watched her put the glove back on slowly, put the phone away, probably like just touched her phone with the glove, and then keeps doing bread. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, you're not only are you at your job, but you have a current task that you need to get done. And you're sitting there like slowly. Yeah. It's almost like, it's not like she just checked something quick, put her phone back, and people I get distracted so easily. So I understand that, but it was like purposeful.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
She did it out of spite.
It was weird.
And like, don't get me wrong. There are times. I mean, Lake Wheeler's a city of Raleigh entity. It's a government job. So like, there are times where we would go slow, but like when we had something to do, whether like even when I was called to scrub the docks, thank God I've only been called to scrub the docks twice. Of course, I think I was a pretty good leader when I was there, and like when people were called to scrub the docks, I would help them.
Yeah.
I might do more watching than help, but at least I was there, right? And I would talk to them. But freaking workers these days. When I started, there was this one mug who would throw staplers at us. He broke staplers.
Who?
What?
I can't say
Was
his
he-
name.
Well, don't say his name, but
Was he
but
like
he was a
he
shift manager, and he's the one who got me the job.
how did he get to that point?
Well, he was just there
He's a
for like a
stapler
long
thrower.
time. I mean, so it was done out of jokes. Like he was just messing with us.
Oh.
And so like it was all joking. We would throw crap at each other all the time, but
okay.
like when he threw a stapler at us, we were like, "Oh crap. Like it needs to get done." And like every time we worked with the mug, we all loved working with Logan. We all loved it. Cuz he was a fun manager.
The name slips.
Won't say his name, but
Yeah, I didn't say
Logan.
I didn't say his last name, and it could have been something else. I like to, the
He does come
alias
up with
always
fake
change.
names a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah,
And like we all loved working with him,
yeah.
right? And we all listened to him. We all respected his authority. We'd all have a good time working with him. But now, these days people are so soft. The second you reprimand them, scold them, or say like, "Look, you did that wrong," like, no, what you did was stupid, right? they start getting all like a pissy attitude. In my group, senior design, there's a mug who I mean, we're recording a video and he deletes a video. I'm like, even though it was a test, it would have been nice to like see the like he was like, we did a practice take. That's what we did. We were doing a practice
yeah.
take, but he didn't hit record. I was like, why didn't you record it? Because like it's a practice take, so like we should have
Practice the whole thing, not just.
and then you rewatch it and you see what you need to fix. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to take up space on my phone."
Oh
and,
my God.
I was like, you can delete it, right? And he, he was like, no, I want to get. I was like, what in the world? My mind was blown, and then someone else in the group goes, and I know the guy pretty well, so I knew he was getting a little flustered, so I just left it because we were in a group setting, just not me and him. Someone in the group was like, no, you should have just recorded it. And I was like, uh-oh, this guy might go off now. This guy might go off. And I was like, you just tell him like, no, you're wrong. Like you should have like back to the Lake Wheeler and just workers. Like, no, you were wrong. You should have done this.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they get all defensive and they perk up and I think they're right. I'm like, no.
I think naturally, like our biology wants us to be able to put each other in like our place. Like you want to be able to just tackle somebody to the ground because they're being an asshole, and then you like physically exert dominance over them. Like we can't fight anybody. Like if you're in the office and Jim is being annoying, you can't just like punch him. Which I don't think that's a good answer, like just punching everybody in an office. But it creates this unnatural environment where you have to be professional, where you end up building up this slow hatred for somebody that's unnatural. I don't think like the slow build up hatred for people, I feel like is pretty unnatural.
Yeah, you gotta let it out.
Yeah.
You gotta let it out.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
Yeah.
White
See,
power.
I think
Clayton Bigsby.
Let it out. You were saying, Gus. Let it out,
Isn't
dude.
that
Come on,
Chappelle?
dude.
Isn't that Chappelle?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Chappelle. Come on, man. Let it
Yeah.
out, dude.
Dude, I think the best way to handle those types of like little girls is to be like, listen, I kind of understand what you were trying to do, but here's how to do it.
Mm.
Less than like you're wrong type thing. Like point at them, be like you're wrong, because then they kind of freak out and they get so emotional about it.
Yeah.
It like I had to do that a lot at Jersey Mike's when I was like kind of assistant manager, like pseudo assistant manager,
Yeah.
and there were so many like little weasels under me. And anytime I would do that, I'd be like, dude, why are you doing it like that? They would like kind of internally freak out and like they would kind of resent you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the shift. So I think there's definitely some strategities
Oh yeah,
that you can do.
there's right ways and wrong ways
You
to
gotta
tell
treat them
someone.
like 5-year-olds almost. It's like,
I don't know. For that, this is, I guess I really just one of the first interactions, like first altercations. Again, I was a pretty chill dude. Like,
chill guy.
you know, if there was like manual tasks to be done throughout the park, I had every right to just send someone else to do it
Yeah.
and let them do it by themselves. But I would do it with them because, like,
That's what it
why
lead,
not?
You got to lead
Yeah,
by example.
By example.
That's a huge deal. If you have someone in charge of you that is working just as hard or hopefully harder than you, you're going to want to work hard.
Yep.
But if you have somebody in charge of you that is just sitting there, just telling you to do stuff, no one's going to want to work hard.
Yep.
Oh.
That's a huge deal. It's like a respect thing. It comes back to respect. Like I've had jobs where the manager is like the hardest worker there, and he's doing the most, and he'll do your job like you said, like do your job with
Do it
you,
with you.
or get it. Say I can handle it. You know.
Yeah.
If you do this,
Don't worry about it.
you know, like I'll clean the bathroom.
Yep.
You just make subs.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're trained on the count. You do the count. I can start the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I would do that all the time.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I was a cool dude to work with. And so that was like the first big altercation that was like, holy crap, that really just happened over the radio. And so there's probably, no, not even probably, there was a better way to handle it. There's always a better way to do something, right? It's just I didn't know at the time. But now I do.
Do you still work there?
No. Sometimes I miss it though. I miss
Really?
working there, dude. Interacting with those like the patrons, dude. I have stories to tell. One, we had a boat, right? One, it was a lake, so there was a boat. There was
Naturally.
there was a gator, right?
There's an alligator?
No, just
John
like
Deere.
John Deere gator.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like in Lake Wheeler?
And
I'm never going there again.
dude. We had some fun. We had fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good
That's what you
time
do
working there.
at those kind of jobs. You find ways to have fun.
Yep. We
I
we
had
weren't getting
fun.
paid well, but we had fun.
Enjoying it is so, it makes everything go better. You can just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I stayed. It's like we weren't getting paid squat,
Yeah.
but the amount of work to pay, like the work to pay ratio was
Like
off.
what is squat though?
925.
Oh,
That's really
That's low.
that's really
for-
that's
for
squat.
Here,
That's squat for sure.
Because I mean, minimums like how much you get paid at different jobs changes kind of geographically.
Yeah,
But for here, that's low.
that's way
Really
low.
Like McDonald's is like
Yeah.
$17.50.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they give you like a $5,000 signing bonus
Yeah.
now.
Well, this was also before the economic downturn and all. So
Yeah. Okay.
now
It
now
was
they're
lower.
they're getting paid like 15 now.
Okay.
But it was 925 before. I think I started out with 815, got bumped up to 925 when I became a shift manager, but again, I was still in school, so like I would go to work, especially during the winter.
Yeah.
I would do homework, do schoolwork, and then this is a government job,
Go
so
drive the John Deere around.
yeah.
It was $7.25 was minimum wage here when I started working, which was in
I think
what,
minimum wage is
2016?
$7.50.
You think
It is?
I think it's still
Really?
only $7.50. I don't think it's gone up much.
It's still $7.25.
Is it $7.25 still?
Wow.
Nobody pays that anymore.
No,
Nobody
no.
pays
That's
it.
kind of a good.
Well, well, My God. I can get started.
Okay, well, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That is a perfect indicator or indication that the market does actually handle itself.
It does.
You don't need the
No.
government regulation and the federal laws and state laws to increase wages or to get employers to increase wages. Employers saw the economic and crisis that we were in, and they said, "Look, here's a way to solve it. Let's increase wages." Crazy. Boom. Ah.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought? We actually didn't need legislation putting the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Employers just did it.
They do it.
McDonald's
They just do
did
it.
it. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? The laws of supply and demand, apply to workers and employers. Crazy.
Inflation.
The closest McDonald's to here start at $12 an hour. And that's McDonald's.
What do you think about? Have you seen that video of the Starbucks employee, a transsexual? I think that was the TikTok. That was the TikTok caption. Transsexual complains about wage or working conditions at Starbucks. Right?
Starbucks.
And he was like, "We have to work 8-hour days. It's so hard. It's so stressful." It was either 8-hour days or 40-hour work weeks. One of the two, which are the same
Like
thing.
Standard. Yeah.
That's just full-time job.
Yeah. Completely standard job.
And they're like, "It is so hard."
I think I found it. Is it this
I
one?
have to work for my money.
Yeah, it's that one.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not going to play through. I'll put it up here.
People wonder why we need a union at Starbucks, and I am literally about to quit. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but, like, I really want to. I almost walked out today, and I'm crying in the back room right now, and I almost cried on the floor. It's just, I'm like a full-time student. I get scheduled for 25 hours a week, and on weekends they schedule me the entire day, open to close. I'm on the schedule for 8.5 hours, both Saturday and Sunday. I'm like 3.5 hours into my shift. There's so many customers, and we have 4 people on the floor all day. Only 5 people were put on the schedule, and somebody had to call out. And there are 4 people running the whole store, and there's so many customers, and there's Bosley scheduled 5 people. We only have 13 people employed at this store, and there's so many customers. And we don't have fair scheduling. Managers don't care about us. Our manager was supposed to come in this weekend, and he took himself off the schedule, so he wouldn't be able to be held accountable for calling out. He just literally tore down the schedule that he was scheduled on and put up a new schedule where he wasn't on the schedule. Also, he couldn't have even seen that.
Wow, he went in.
Nigga, he's like a
Oh, my bad. 23 hours a week and
23 hours a week.
8.5 hour shift.
Okay,
My bad. Man.
Open to close is 8.5 hours.
Yeah, Starbucks isn't open late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
I saw that video. I was like, and I read the comments on TikTok,
starts crying.
and I was like, dude, you want a union for that? The amount of people that would kill, like,
The
dude,
Starbucks
holy
union.
crap, dude. I have met so many people, like, and I was talking about this current generation of workers, but there are people out there that fight for hours. Like, they want the hours. And when I first started working a wage job or like my internship, right, I was like, why do people want to come in for like double time? And they want to work because they want to provide for their loved ones. Sort of like what Dr. Tran was saying. At the end of the day, right, you'll settle for enough to build relationship with the people you care about. And when I worked my internship, I was working on a manufacturing floor, a factory, right? I was working with factory workers. I was an engineering intern. Like, I would talk to people, and they were like, yeah, man, we got overtime this Saturday. Like, we're going to get paid a time and a half. I'm like, we can do this. I can go on this trip with my family. And people wanted the hours. Now you have freaking mugs like this Starbucks employee former employee or current employee, who knows?
Probably
who-
current. They probably.
Who's crying about 23 and a half hours
Is it a girl? Hold on.
or 23 hours, whatever. It's a transsexual,
Is
dude.
it a girl or is it a guy?
Who knows? Who knows?
He's got a really high voice, but
It got really low at that middle part. Play the
Yeah.
video. And our manager took us
Yeah.
off. He took himself off the schedule.
He was scheduled in the first place because he didn't want to be held accountable for not wanting to come in.
It's ma'am. It's ma'am.
We need a union because this can't happen. This can't happen. We need fair scheduling.
And then it goes back to high.
fair schedule.
23
hours?
3 hours a week. Like people would. I know people who would kill for that.
In an 8.5 hour shift, bro. It's like a pretty
That's a standard day.
standard day.
And I know I keep bringing up Jersey Mike's, but
And customers keep coming in. The customers keep coming in and ordering coffee from Starbucks.
it puts ordering coffee.
Yeah, they keep ordering the same. And I can't do
What this thing
it.
called a latte?
Yeah.
There's so many people, and they all want coffee, and there's so much coffee, and there's so many people.
Like I don't even know why Starbucks even was created. I mean, my God. Like, come on, dude.
so many
It's
people?
videos like that make me
It's unfair. They just keep ordering.
This world is done, dude.
People.
Yeah, it's cooked.
You learned, like, kind of like in line with what you were saying, working a job where it's unskilled labor, right? Working an unskilled labor job, which I would consider like Jersey Mike's, Lake Wheeler, like that's what I mean by unskilled labor. It's not like you need like some skill to do it, but I mean like you don't need to go get it to school, yeah. You see a lot of people in those. You meet people who are, like you said, like the little 16-year-old who works at, and she doesn't need the money. She just is working because her parents made her get a job. Will ask off on like her shift. She was like, "Can someone cover me on my 3 to 4 shift?" It's like an hour shift that she has, and then it's always that like 1 or 2 people who are like, "Yes."
Always, yeah.
Immediately they're like, "Yes, I got it.
Yep.
And it gives you some damn perspective because you're like, wow, they want that hour so bad, and they're so grateful that this person. Like we had people where we would hire people, and then somebody would be like, I can't believe they're hiring more people. That takes hours away from me. Like I would work 80 hours if I could. I would work 100 hours if I could.
Yep.
And there were people who tried their best to work as many hours as they could.
Yeah.
It gives you perspective. I think everyone should work in like food service or retail, or I don't even know what your
Some
public,
just like
public
scummy,
relations
yeah,
of some
scummy
sort.
job, just a scummy job.
Yeah, just like the
Yeah.
bottom. You got to work at the bottom for at least.
You got to
a
see what's
year.
down there. You know?
Might actually have to disagree with that.
Really?
I don't think everyone needs to work one of those
Bro,
jobs.
you need the perspective.
Why not?
I
want
think
to hear
you can,
this.
I think you can gain perspective without working perspective. No. I think you can. I think it's possible to live in someone else's shoes without actually putting their shoes on. Right? You can look at the
Living-
shoes and say, I know how that person's living. It just takes a certain amount of empathy. You have to be able to you have to know how to empathize with that person and get off the high horse. It doesn't mean that you have to just stay there with them. But you see people doing it all the time. I mean, some of the wealthiest mugs, you listen to some of their podcasts and you can tell that they're able to empathize with people, right? They're able to relate to people. Some people just have different life trajectories than others, and I
That's for
think
sure.
working that job might set them back.
It's a big time commitment, but I'm even talking about being like between 16 and 18. You're in high school. You have maybe your thing you're spending your time on is you're like a student athlete, right? And you don't have time to work a minimum wage job. That's but that's still like that's good. That's something. I'm talking more about the people who otherwise would not be doing something. They have
I know
this
so many of
extra
them.
time.
Okay.
And they don't worry about money, so it's not like they're stressed about money. They don't have any of that like financial insecurity. They're just sitting there doing nothing between the ages of like 16 and 18. Those people, I think it's so important to get a job, and even if it's not about the money, it's not about anything. Mostly, it's just for like learning some work ethic, learning accountability, learning how to, exist in the world socially, learning how to deal with customers, and dealing with people in a professional way who are being unprofessional to you is a incredible skill to have. And you can start learning it at like 14 in this state.
So I think it really depends from person to person, right? There might be some mug who wants to be, an astrophysicist or what. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest to them to get a job at Jersey Mike's. Right? I would tell them, get a tutor. Pay for a tutor if you really want to be an astrophysicist. I think it depends from person to person. Like you said, if you're not doing anything, getting a job would be nice. I know when I got my Lake Wheeler job, my parents didn't want me to work. They were like, "Oh, Jeremy, you don't have to work."
Really?
What the heck?
Like,
They were just gonna fund you. If
yeah,
you
they were.
wanted stuff.
Yeah.
What if you wanted to like buy stuff? They'd be like, "You can have what you want." I can't do your parents' accent.
I mean, of course, before I worked, they were funding everything, and they taught me the value of saving money and not buying everything that you want.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, if I wanted like something, and they're like, if they're like, you don't need it, and there's no reason to buy it, they wouldn't buy it for me, right? But I was like, I might get a job at Lake Wheeler, and they're like, oh, you don't have to work. You can just take this summer off and just relax until you go to college. I was like, nah, but I just kind of want to work. I'm not doing anything. I literally wasn't doing anything. My senior year of high school, I would just go to school and go home, do homework, and then just chill.
Don't you feel like that experience enriched you?
It enriched me, but I'm saying, it was beneficial towards me, for me, but someone else probably wouldn't have had the same effect. We're all different.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying.
And so just, again, I bring up the example of an astrophysicist. If you want to be that, don't get a job at Lake Wheeler. Get an internship at or apprenticeship, with NASA or someone or something. If you want to be a freaking car mechanic or own car, don't get a job at Jersey Mike's or McDonald's. Get a job at a mechanic shop.
Then I guess what I'll say is I'll rephrase my statement and see if you agree with this. Putting yourself in a situation, whether it's a job or not, where you have to, there are going to be, in some way it challenges you and it teaches you how to deal with people, which a very easy way to fulfill that is a job, like a customer service job. But there's other ways to do that. Like, yes, going and getting a job at a mechanic if you want to work on cars is super good, and you'll have to deal with people of different, people who have authority over you and people who are customers. You have to deal with just putting yourself in a situation where you have to deal with people in a professional way. I've met plenty of people who are way older than me who you can tell they've just never done that. They've never dealt with people properly. They don't know how to be professional if they need to be. They don't know how to... that's a skill you have to practice. Some people probably have it naturally, but I feel like most people don't. And
I think, like you said, I think some people do have that naturally. I know people who haven't worked jobs, and they know how to talk politely and respectfully to adults, people of authority. Yeah. They haven't been. They didn't need to be put in a situation like that. So it takes personal responsibility to determine whether you're that individual who needs some sort of structure through a job to gain those soft skills, and it's really up to you to decide whether that's what you need for your life, or you can go without it. If money's not an issue and you don't need the job and you have the necessary skills to be a functioning member of society, I don't see why you would work. Or work at 14 or 17 or 18.
Yeah. It makes sense. What you're saying makes sense. It's so crazy how different there's so many different types of people, and trying to come up with policy or like guidelines is so impossible because so many people, everybody's so different.
It's crazy you say that. I hate like rules. I hate this is how you do X, Y, and Z. It's gonna work for everyone. I hate it when people say that because what worked for you may not work for me. May not work for you. What worked for me won't work for you. Like, and people, content creators. I'm just gonna say content creators.
Sure.
Freaking go. This is how you make $3,000 a week with
Yeah.
the side hustles. You do this, like, no,
I tried.
no,
Doesn't work.
and I hate it. Or like, take cold showers every day because it's gonna help you with.
Yes.
Why would I?
Yes,
why would I
bro.
want to like? People make the argument. Well, I take cold showers because it helps me with my discipline and I just need it for my headspace. That's good. If that helps you, do it. Don't stop doing it. But for me, I don't need the boosted testosterone. I don't need that. I'm
makes your
I'm
skin
set.
nice, bro.
I'm
It wakes
set
you
with
up.
where I'm at,
You have a
dude.
good day. You sleep better.
No. I already said no. Why would I put myself in that uncomfortable situation? Why?
It's fun, bro. It's
No.
so fun.
Don't get that shit. Nah, man.
Gus will do ice baths. He'll go and buy like $20 worth of bags of ice.
But that's when I get really like I go on a long run and I get really sore.
Okay.
I only do ice baths when I'm like can't move.
All right. That's if it works for you.
It works for everyone. It works for everyone.
Do it. I'm sure
it works
I'm
for
sure,
everyone.
I'm sure it does work. I'm sure if I did it after a long run, it would help me. But
Oh,
guess
it
what?
would. Oh, it would.
Guess what? I would value
Mm-hmm.
more being a little bit sore than a 5-minute ice bath. I think I could handle the pain for 2 or 3 more days than sitting 5 minutes in an ice bath. I would rather do that because why put myself in an uncomfortable situation when I know I could bear.
No,
You
bro,
know,
you're still sore. It just helps the soreness go away faster.
Yeah, and I feel like you are the kind of person that you don't have that, like, you don't have to practice putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. For whatever reason, you're just kind of,
I'm built
you're kind of got, you've got more of like a go get 'em kind of attitude. Like you just go do it because you want to go do it. But there's a lot of people who don't have that and they want it so bad. They want to have that go get 'em kind of, I'm on top of stuff. And they have to do
They
that,
have to work for
they have
that.
to train themselves by putting themselves in very uncomfortable situations and stuff like the ice bath and stuff like that. It's training yourself to put yourself into an uncomfortable situation. I feel like what you're saying is that you're not going to get much out of it and it's not going to train you, but you already kind of have that just like, I'm going to go do what I need to do.
Yep. I've heard another argument where it was like, at least with ice baths and cold showers, like, well, what if the your water heater goes out and you can only take you only have cold showers?
See, that,
I'm like,
that
okay,
That's a
makes
very
sense.
random.
That's
yeah.
super
like-
random, yeah.
okay, I'll just like, it's happened before.
Yeah, if it goes out, then you just take a cold
I
shower.
just take a cold shower.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I love hygiene. I love
Yeah.
hygiene. Like I'm not gonna not take a shower.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So like,
If you're forced to, obviously you would.
I do it.
Yeah. But I don't take cold showers.
I've done it before. I mean, there's like the water heater's not working where we're staying. That's happened last summer. We were staying at my grandparents or whatever, and they've got like a little outbuilding where we were staying, and it's got a little shower in it with its own water heater, and the water heater was just not hot. So we just took cold showers, and then I fixed the water heater, but it was like you just do it because you have to do it. And I don't practice taking cold showers. I'm not good at it either. I'm really bad. I've tried, and I'm like,
You just like get in. I mean, I end with the cold shower sometimes. I don't like to sweat after a hot shower, so like I'll just close the pores and just end with like a 45-second to a minute like rinse off in cold water, like ice cold water,
like all the way cold.
all the way cold, and like it's
so
not.
you do take a cold shower.
I mean, not for the reasons that the mainstream media is like take a cold shower because
Yeah.
Your
it's
point
just-
still
it's just
stands,
because,
but
like,
it is funny that you take cold
It's
showers.
just I end with cold showers.
Okay.
It's like a minute of a cold shower. I just don't like the sweat. I value
Yeah, it
being
does.
comfortable in warm water
It's a hygiene for you.
I value not sweating
Yeah.
after my shower, and so I have to sacrifice a minute of uncomfortableness.
I've never even thought about that.
It is annoying when you take a shower, you're all clean, and you take a super hot shower, and you get out, and you immediately start sweating.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gross.
I'll keep the fan on in the room, and I'll just stay under the fan just to try and cool off as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Try and cool down.
Yep.
Never even thought about that. I never even thought I sweat.
I don't
after a shower.
sweat very much, so I'm not I'm just for whatever reason not a very sweaty guy.
Yeah, sweat is just water, right?
Is it?
Water and some impurities,
Okay.
and
A lot of
it's
NaCl.
crazy. Do you think I sweat a lot because I have water because I live in America? I but like, do Africans sweat because they don't have water?
We've come full circle, ladies and
And we're
gentlemen. Back to the Africans.
That's a good question, actually.
I don't think you can sweat as much if you don't have as much
Yeah.
excess water.
Okay,
But I know that
maybe
you
I
can,
should just
but
dehydrate
you can
myself.
die. You can pretty easily die if you overheat.
You can die without water.
Correct. But you can dehydrate much faster if you're sweating.
But they're used to it over there.
And their death rate's super high too.
There's also disease, lots of disease.
Yeah, lots of mosquitoes.
But where are we
mosquitoes
talking
are
about?
crazy over there.
We're when we say this, we're talking about villages in small countries in Africa.
Yeah.
Villagers?
Like villagers.
Come to my village. We have oil. We want
Oil?
democracy. We want
You
democracy.
drink oil.
Have you seen those memes where it's they have oil and it's like, oh, we're gonna go. The Americans are like, oh, we got to go put some democracy over there.
Have you seen the Key and Peele skit of that?
No.
Oh, dude, it's like this African president or whatever was like, please, sir, we need your help. The riotas or the mob or the resistance, whoever the case may be, they're pillaging our villages. They're raping our women. We need your help. And the United States agent or whatever is like, no, sorry, sir, we can't help you. But who's going to protect our $1 million reserve of oil? He's like, in that case, welcome to democracy, sir. Welcome to democracy, sir.
The oil thing is crazy.
Oh yeah, now the same thing's about to happen with cobalt.
Yeah, because
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I'm sure it already is.
Think about it. Cobalt. The mob is pushing electric vehicles so hard now. We have to produce batteries and mine cobalt to a degree that's just unnatural. And in the process, African children, underage labor, people are dying because of it.
That's the argument with all of our technology.
Yeah.
Is how much there's gold and platinum and cobalt and
And our iPhones.
lithium.
Yeah.
Or the laptop or the iPhone or
Yeah.
this thing or
Silicone, dude.
Yeah.
Silicone is such a valuable resource, and we just throw silicone in freaking gas stations. There is no need for a gas station to have that screen that says, "Here are the daily rewards."
Are you talking about silicon?
Yeah, silicone.
Well, silicon's like the caulk.
Yeah, I like
So I got
saying I
confused.
like saying silicone.
That's what I was like. I was like, is it a?
You got to seal up the gas station
Yeah.
pretty good for hygiene.
I
So
was
I don't.
thinking, I was like, they
No,
might
no,
they
no,
might
no.
sell that side.
I don't mean to be an
know.
asshole. I just was like,
No.
I got
I
confused.
just like saying silicone.
You can keep saying it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
silicone.
keep-
I understand what you're saying.
I'm gonna silicone.
You know that speaking of the gas stations, it makes me so mad when an ad starts blasting at me when I'm filling.
Oh,
That's
my
silicone,
God.
dude.
Sometimes you press the buttons and it mutes
Yeah.
it. You ever done that?
No. Didn't know
Some
that.
gas stations let you mute it if you press the bottom right button.
Dude.
So
Stupid.
mad. I get so mad.
Stupid.
Stop selling me stuff. I'm just trying to buy oil or
No,
gas.
Gas. Yeah, I just want to pollute the planet.
Yeah.
But really, it's a double standard because they want to stand up for humans' rights all across the world, but electric cars and the environment.
Yeah.
let's kill children now.
Yep.
In what country? I think it's Zimbabwe. I think that's where all the cobalt mines are. Like, and you're just like, and they just turn a blind eye to it. They're like,
And they don't
they
do
turn a blind eye
You're not allowed to demonize them.
because they're doing it for a good reason. They're doing it for the environment.
Well, it's like that's one thing that there's a disproportionality with in like the whole political game is it shifts who you're allowed to demonize depending on like
Your intersectionality.
yeah, like you're allowed to demonize people for saying they want guns because you can say, "Oh, one child dying is worth you having your guns." And then you're in this like incredibly awkward thing. But it's the same question. One child dying is worth you having your electric car? It's the same question, but you're not allowed to say it. Like they just ignore your question. They don't care. But it's the same question. It's children dying for you to have this thing. You know, you are able to protect yourself from your government. There's no way you can be oppressed if you have more power than what is governing you, but you agree to be governed by that body. You know, and I'm not trying to even say an opinion. I'm just trying to kind of explain how it's the same thing.
Let it out, dude. Come
And
on,
then-
let it out.
And then you
Come on,
have
Tyler. Go Tyler.
Then you have people who they want electric cars. They think it's worth it to make the environment better for the future generations of their kids, but they don't care about the kids in the current generation that are dying mining cobalt and like getting crushed and just upper respiratory
Yeah.
disease. And it's the same exact model. It's the same exact question, and it's just people on different sides of the political spectrum that have some ideology that they're so sure is right that they want to just ignore people dying. But what are you gonna do? Someone's gonna freaking die no matter what.
Well, I don't even think electric cars really make that much of an impact on the environment. I don't think there's any net positives from electric
I don't think
cars.
there's enough data to tell.
No,
right now.
well, you look at the whole process. You got to mine the cobalt. You got to
Mine
use
the
oil.
cobalt. Yep.
You got to use oil.
You have to generate the
You gotta
electricity.
You got to ship that cobalt either via plane, cargo ship,
or truck.
to build the battery. Then you have to build the car.
And shipping batteries are so
They're heavy.
Yeah, it does. It goes from mine to ship to truck to factory and then into battery and then ship the battery.
Yep. And then your battery goes bad after 5 years.
Yep.
You have to recycle that material, which takes
Which is not recyclable.
amazing amounts of
Isn't
power.
it not recyclable? Aren't we having
I-
issues with recycling batteries?
I think it's super hard and takes like a lot of power to do. So it takes a lot of
A lot of oil,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like,
There's so much oil going into this electric
like,
car
even if we just
monopoly.
We'll talk. The whole
Do-
fucking car's made out of plastic, which you make with oil.
oil, and it's like, even if you forget about everything else and you just look at transportation, how much oil do we have to burn right now to produce enough electric cars, trucks, so that we can at least transport all this raw material without oil?
And then,
It's just like,
and then how are you going to charge the electric cars?
well, then you use renewable energy, of course. guys.
Renewable, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how come you're not allowed to ask those questions? Because you're not.
No.
You're not allowed to ask those questions.
No. You know, kind of off topic, but on topic. And this one's for free. Anyone who
Off topic and on topic.
if anyone wants this, who's going to watch this might be great business opportunity for you. I don't have
Whoa.
the capital for it.
What's about to go down right now?
Electric charging stations.
They have them. They have them.
Yeah, but
They-
they're outside
Done.
of like
Been
they're
done.
outside of like Targets, right, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right? You just make like a separate, buy property, have a building like a gas station instead of gas.
Oh.
It's just electric chargers. But here's the thing: you actually don't. What makes this business model so viable is that you don't have to tap into the power grid. What you do is you have diesel generators behind the store. You have diesel generators behind the store powering all of your power stations. So you don't have to tap into the power grid. You don't have to.
You just have to buy diesel.
You just have to buy diesel.
And that would
Dude,
be
we can
But-
get this.
but-
you
capital.
know
We can get the
how
capital.
famous you would get if you got caught for that. You know how big of a scandal that would be right now?
It's not a scandal.
It's not a scandal,
We want
it's
to hide
like-
it. We want to hide it because the people who are driving these Teslas and their Mach-E's and whatnot, their F1, like they're just just virtue signaling.
You know what you have to
Right?
do is you have to take like the building where the generators run, put like the exhausts out and put the little flappers on the top and make them like tuned so that they release a lot of soot. So as soon as you press go, you hear the engine start and you see soot start going up into the atmosphere, and it's like it's your choice. And there's like a big button that says stop, and you're like, oh.
And when you press it, it lights up on the screen of a kid getting crushed by a giant thing of cobalt.
It's like only you can save
I
save the world with your Tesla.
I told that to someone, and I was surprised by his response to this. He was like, "Look, but every time you convert one form of energy to another, you're going to lose some of that energy."
Entropy.
Yeah, and I was like, "You're absolutely right." And he didn't go to like. It was like, "I'm surprised you know that," but I was like, "You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes." This whole electric car nonsense is a stupid game. You're gonna receive a stupid prize, dude.
There's also like we're out in kind of rural North Carolina, and if you look at I don't even know where the closest transmission lines are. The giant power lines. They're like a ways away.
Yeah.
And then there's like little distribution centers, and then they distribute them on the power lines, the smaller lines. You like the line all the way from like miles away to this neighborhood is not that big, and the whole idea is people use power at different times. So like,
Did you hear about the attack that happened?
Yeah, that was
No.
crazy.
Yeah, someone shot. Was it in the Transformers? I
It was
think
a substation.
substations, and they shot into the Transformers, I think, and like the cooling oil, drained out, and it like killed power for days.
Mm-hmm.
Killed
Where?
power.
It wasn't in Greensboro or something.
Yeah, it was in
close.
North, yeah, it was in North Carolina. Luckily, we weren't affected.
Yeah,
But,
but dude, that knocked
Well, because we got Sharon
thousands,
Harris.
That's
thousands
true.
of people's power went out.
It's really weird paying for a like I've got an account with Duke Energy, just because we're paying for our power now, and I wanted to get one of those smart thermostats like the Google Nest, and I heard that the power companies a lot of times will give you a rebate if you buy a smart thermostat because it saves them energy by saving you energy, so it's like they want you to have one. And I was reading the like terms, and it's like, if you agree to this rebate, Duke Energy will have access to your thermostat, and they will be able to turn off or like lower it. So like if you have heat, like if you have your heat on, they'll be able to lower your heat number down so that if they just need more power, which from a logistical perspective makes sense. You lower everybody's heat a tiny bit, and you can handle an unexpected demand on the infrastructure. It makes sense, but it's also so creepy to have them with their fingers on your thermostat digitally is so creepy.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it. I wanted
very-
to do it. It's like $100 off. I'm not gonna do it. It's
Yeah,
not.
you just get the thing, and
Yeah.
That's pretty spooky.
Yeah.
That
And it
they could
takes,
just
like-
turn your stuff off.
And on average, it takes like 3 years for the smart thermostat to pay for itself. So I'm not even gonna get it anyway. But I don't even think we'll be here for 3 years. So. I don't know. It's just not worth it.
it's mad convenient though.
Super convenient. They're cool. They even have like sensors where they can like occupancy sensors. So if you just walk into the house and it didn't expect you there, it'll switch the heat on.
Put it on a schedule. You come back from work.
And the smart ones are learn your schedule. So you go out in the morning, you turn it up. Like you have to spend like a day or two just operating it manually, and then it just learns and it automatically moves around.
Yeah.
They're cool. It's a cool idea. I kind of have to pee again. Is it just me?
too. No, I do too.
Do you have to pee? Do you think?
Nah.
Do you have? Okay. How good do you think your bladder is?
It's pretty good.
Mine sucks so bad.
Well, now I have to pee. I mean, I heard that water, and you guys are talking about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee.
In my crotch.
Do you listen to Cup Kake?
Nah.
Cupcock. Why not?
I don't know, man. Watching too many golf videos. I listen to golf. I'll listen to Rick Shields.
Oh, really?
When I'm driving. like,
Really?
yeah.
Just a video of him?
Yeah, and I'll just I'll have it here, and I'll be
Right there?
yeah
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm like, dang, look at that driver, bro.
Golf seems like I've never been really into golf, but there's something about it that seems enticing, and I think it's the gear. I like gear, and like the
There's
clubs.
some nice gear, yeah.
The amount of stuff that goes into these clubs, making them like good or making them absorb shock different, and all the stuff that goes into the clubs is so cool. Like that's the same thing with hockey. Like the hockey sticks, the high quality hockey sticks.
There's a lot of
you can,
engineering
like,
that goes
you take
behind
like
them.
between your fingers, and you can hold them like directly out. They weigh like less than a pound. They're insane. They're like hollow carbon fiber, and they're so. They transfer so much energy into the puck too. They're made to resonate the right way so that they hit that puck and you don't lose. They don't dampen any of that energy. It's so crazy.
Ton of engineering goes behind like drivers, for example.
Oh,
Or even
yeah.
look at the padding in football.
Well, I don't think it's doing the best job.
Not
I
the
mean,
greatest
those
job.
guys
no.
are-
You look at those helmets, dude. What are they called? I played football. Everyone wanted the speed helmets.
The speed helmets?
Oh, there's that
Riddles?
one. There was this one helmet. It was the cleanest looking helmet, so you don't look like a freaking bobblehead.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted those, but like, there's a lot of engineering that goes into keeping
Yeah.
athletes safe.
Yeah, those top football players. Like look at like Tom Brady. You know that there's millions going into just making sure his head doesn't get bonked to the point where he can't play football
Oh, yeah.
anymore. So many people have careers based off that dude.
Oh yeah. Do you think is golf a sport?
Golf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
One of the hardest sports ever.
I don't play that game of like this is a sport, this isn't a sport.
So-
I mean, anything that you do competitively that takes some amount of performance from you is a sport.
So I heard an argument, and it made me think. Golf isn't a sport. Track and field isn't a sport. They're competitions. Sports are activities where your opponent directly affects your performance. Basketball, your opponent is guarding you, and hence will affect how many points you score. Same with football. Your opponent has defense and they affect.
Well,
And so with golf, track and field, like you can do that sport or that game, competition, whatever you want to call it, without anyone there. And look, like you're still going to shoot the same. You're still going
but
to
in
run.
that case, it could translate to being mentally.
Okay,
Like if
yeah.
you're competing against your opponent in golf, your opponent doing well has a big impact
Influence
on your
on
mental
your game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and also like if you go practice basketball by yourself, are you not practicing the sport? You're just practicing the skills.
You're practicing the skills for the sport. So yes, you are practicing the sport of basketball.
You're
But
not
if you
playing
go,
the
you're
sport of
you're
basketball.
you're practicing, competing on a professional level with golf. It's just like also with the whole mental thing, Gus. I don't think there's a way to measure the mental impact of someone else's hindrance on your performance. right?
Bro, listen to an interview. Listen to one PGA interview.
Yeah, but it's all subjective, and there's no objective measurement. With basketball, it's how many points did you score?
It's true. I think that that whole thing with sport, not a sport. I think it's like just tomato.
Yeah, it's silly, but that was I heard the argument. I was like, even though I picked up sport or golf a couple months ago, I'm like, this is kind of fun, but your argument does, there's some sense to it.
I understand the argument, but I think that that's changing the definition of the word sport.
Let's hear it.
Like, this is kind of weird, actually.
What dictionary is
Person,
that?
this is Merriam-Webster, but it's really weird. The definition is strange. This is sexual. For some reason, it says sexual play, but this is Merriam-Webster.com. Recreation. Well, where's this one? This is what Google turns up. Where do they source their definitions? It doesn't say a source, so I don't know where this.
What is it?
definition's
What
coming
does it
from.
say? What is it?
An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment.
So I guess with golf, you are competing against another person, right? It's just, do you accept that definition or do you not accept it?
But that's kind of the thing is, it's like you have to define you have to create the definitions first, and then you can argue it. So if your definition for sport includes, the direct relation between my output versus your output affects each other. Like, you're racing, someone cuts you off, it affects your game. It affects your performance. If that's part of your definition, then golf's not a sport. It's one of those things where you're arguing about definition, but it doesn't come off as the fact that you're arguing about definition.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that too, where you're stuck in this BS argument where you're going back and forth because you're arguing two different definitions. My definition for racism is different than Gus's, so we're arguing something that's like.
let's hear your definition of
shit.
racism.
That was just okay.
And then we'll go to Gus.
Okay, I'll preface.
Don't go to me.
No need.
I'll preface.
Go to
let
me.
it,
Don't go to me.
Let it out, man. Come on,
Tyler,
dude.
why do you say that?
I'll preface because I do want to do this. This is interesting.
Wait, hold up. You guys need a button. Have you seen the freaking Beetlejuice? Let it out, dude. Come on, dude.
Come on, dude. Let it out.
Just let it. You guys need a button.
Come on, man. Come on. Let it out.
You need a button for that.
The guy with the stutter.
Yeah,
He was talking to the dude with the stutter.
Come
He's
on,
like,
dude. Let it out.
And he's like, "Come on, man. Just say it. Just let it out, dude.
Let it
Come
out,
on."
dude. Come on, man. Come on.
No, okay. I'll preface by saying that I was using it as an example. I don't actually know if we have different definitions of it or not.
Well, let's hear it.
My definition of racism. Interesting. I'm going to say racism is the idea that one race has more value, intrinsic value. Is that the right way to use that word? One race has more intrinsic value than another. That's my definition. Is intrinsic? Did I use that right?
So, are you a racist?
Shit, I don't think so, but yeah, belonging naturally, essentially, intrinsic. That was the right way to use it. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, how do you know you're a white, straight, cis male?
I don't think that anybody.
You're inherently racist because of your race, and you're automatically beneath me because of your race.
Yeah, look at this guy.
And I demand reparations because of my race.
All right,
Tyler, you
Did
look
bring-
like you could be racist.
Really? That sucks. That sucks. That does suck.
Oh man.
It's possible, but once you get to know you know
they
you're
play
not.
they play the games with you. Everyone's playing the games. Everyone's like, you're racist. So many people they haven't told me. Like, no one's been like, Tyler, you're racist. But so many places, like, people with very highly esteemed people are saying, like, white people are all racist. You're all racist. You're naturally racist. You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. Like, it's all that you hear, especially like a year or two ago when a lot of that was like really talked about like every day. That was what was in the news. That was what was happening. There was riots, that was all I heard is that I'm racist. It's so weird for people to just keep telling me I'm racist. Not me. Like, I'm trying to clarify. They're not, no one just came out to me and like, Tyler, you are racist. But it's so weird.
But that's what they're implying.
It's so weird just hearing it over and over.
You should have white guilt.
You should be guilty.
Yeah.
You are racist. The society is racist. So, and if you take part in society, that means you're racist. It's like the logic just runs any way to try and explain that I'm just racist.
Okay.
What do you gotta say? What do you gotta say about that?
Nothing to say about that. You said something about the climate a couple years ago after the passing away of our George Floyd
beloved.
Have you guys heard? Do you guys watch the news? Do you guys keep up with the news?
I try not to.
Have you heard about the other guy who passed away by police?
Yeah. I heard about it this
super
morning.
recent.
Yeah.
Because I know there were riots in Atlanta.
Five
I just
officers.
left Atlanta.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Apparently, he was like a superhuman, drugged out. Like, they couldn't wrestle him or whatever.
The body cam footage came out now. The officers were fired, and honestly, I was at Bojangles and people were talking about it.
Really?
Some of the dudes were talking, white dudes too. They were like, yeah, all of those mugs need to go to jail. All the officers need to go to jail. Guess what though? And this was mind-boggling, because I was like, if it was really that bad, I was like, I would have heard about this a lot sooner.
Yeah.
All the officers were black.
Oh.
And that's why I was like, I wonder if these guys know about it. Because if they were white officers, boy,
uproar,
dude. And
was it bad? Did you watch the video?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, yeah, what they did was bad. But like, why aren't people going to freaking Washington D.C.? Why aren't they burning down buildings? Why are why aren't we having the same reaction that we had a couple years ago?
Yeah. Who was the victim?
I don't know his name.
He was black?
He was black. It was all black parties involved.
How long is the video?
I don't know. It's like, what I watched was like 2 minutes, but it was like a news clip. All right.
Okay.
So, I mean, you say how long was the video? I went back and rewatched the body cam footage for like George Floyd, like the 30 or 40-minute video. I watched all of it.
Our beloved.
I will say, I don't think the cops were acting racist.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it while watching the video. I didn't.
You heard it here first,
It's possible.
I didn't see it.
The thing is, it's definitely possible to tell if somebody is acting in a racist way if they're vocalizing something racist while they're making their decisions. Like, it's possible to tell that they are being racist, but it's never possible to prove that they weren't being racist. Like, it's never possible to prove someone's intention and say that they weren't being
really
racist.
Hard.
There's no way to be like, yeah, that dude was definitely not acting based on any prejudice. Like, it's not even possible. Like, I don't know. It's such a strange problem to have to tackle, because I think it is a problem. Anything where there's, everything should be improved constantly. You should never be like, okay, this system is good enough. We're going to keep it exactly how it is forever. Like, that's the whole point, is you keep improving everything. We try and keep improving ourselves and all the systems we have in place. So there's definitely room for improvement if there's literal riots and there's people who are defending it tooth and nail. No, like we have to figure out some way to make it different and better. There's got to be a better way to do everything. But the arguments are so like pinpointed on like it's always like you're saying, the racism card. It's like, oh, they were acting racist towards, this guy, and this guy died. It's never like actual trying to improve the system. Like, they wanted to defund an already underfunded system where like these people don't have enough training, and they wanted to defund them. Like, how does that help with training?
Nah, that's what the Republicans wanted to do.
Is what?
Defund the police. Did you guys hear that?
No.
There was Jen Psaki. One of her press conferences was like, "Look, we wanted to fund the police, and the Republicans voted against a bill that would have funded." I was like, "What, dude?" And Ducey was like, "Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now?"
Well, and it's like there's people out there that are so pro-police that it's like weird. It's like
that is also true.
They're like police fanboys.
Yeah.
Like, I have police, or not anymore, but I have family members that were police officers like years ago, and I just like, I'm not like a super big police fanboy.
Yeah.
Like, I think any public servant like
deserves respect.
I give them respect, you know, but it's not like they're so good they could do no wrong.
That's fine.
Like,
No.
You have to hold everyone to a high standard, and those people to a higher standard, because they're playing a higher role. They're playing with more power. They're playing with authority.
And they volunteer for it.
The whole point of America is we challenge authority constantly in order to keep them in check. It's like the whole point.
Yeah.
So we have to look into this and make it better, figure it out. But how do we do that? I have no idea. I can say all day long, like, we have to make it better. We have to.
Yeah, I think
defunding it, absolutely not the way to do it.
You might have to, pay police more, make them go through more training instead of just like a boot camp.
Yeah, you need higher quality officers.
You go through a school. It's like a 2-year program, 2-year school. I mean,
it's also it's retraining. Like, can you think of all the skills that you've had in your life? Of all the skills you've practiced and trained, how many of them can you perform at your peak right now? Like, I used to be able to solve a Rubik's Cube. I cannot do that right now.
Oh, you're a sweat. Or you were a sweat.
Yeah, I was.
You're a sweat, dude.
I did, and I can't do it anymore. You give me a Rubik's Cube, I have no idea what to do. And I used to be able to do it. Like, it's you learn how to de-escalate a situation and deal with adrenaline and train. And then you can't just learn that once and then be good. It's like you have to train like at least every 6 months, which is expensive to train all your
6 months might be excessive, but
I don't think so. What if
2 years maybe?
Dude, 2 years is so long. Can you imagine you're put in this high adrenaline situation? You have to train high adrenaline because that's what you're going to experience in that situation is the most adrenaline you've ever felt in your life. If there's an active shooter, or you think that they have a weapon, or you're acting on instinct, you have to get yourself to that point regularly to be able to handle it. Sure. I think 2 years, if the last time I felt that was 2 years ago, and I'm sitting there like dealing with the situation, doomed. It's not like, yeah.
So with active shooters, if you're talking in the sense of like schools, schools already do it wrong where they have public resource officers there that are only stationed at the school. I think those officers need to be rotated daily. So they're not like, it's not this, but I brought that up to my GoPo teacher, and she was like, well, when the officer stays there for an extended amount of time, they get to know the students, and they know which students might have special needs or might react differently to certain situations, so they know how to react. But you're talking about the safety of our kid. I said our kids, like I have children,
You have
but
a bunch of little
the safety,
little Jeremys running around.
It's the safety of children. I don't think that should matter. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that should matter. And but
The college thing, because obviously, I went to college, and during college, when I was enrolled in college, I also have a concealed carry permit in the state of North Carolina.
really,
But so those things coincided. But the laws on college campus is the only thing you're allowed to do with a gun on college campus, you can have it on your person if you're in your car. And you have the legal ability to take it off of your person and store it somewhere safe in your car. And you can keep it in your car on campus. So those are the only rules, and those are for commuters mostly. Like if you have to go somewhere after school. But if I'm in a classroom, which is like one of the hot spots for people trying to get on the news, shooting people up, and like I'm not allowed to be armed, but I'm in one of the most like statistically like dangerous places for mass shootings, and like I had to jump through hoops to get it. Like I even had to do you have to shoot a target within a certain, like you have to be a good enough shot to even get your concealed carry permit in North Carolina. And then I had to wait, like it took me like a year to get the thing because it was all backed up and stuff. And then they take your fingerprints. Like they've got so much information about me. Like they know it would be very possible to find out like any gun I've ever purchased or probably even held. Like they probably know which ones I've rented at a range before. Like they know a lot of information. And I'm not allowed to have a gun that I've like been vetted to have to like be safe in school. It's weird. It felt so weird. It felt so wrong because like they have those private schools where everybody can carry. And you know what schools never get shot up?
the private school.
The private schools where everyone can carry. There's like Liberty University in Virginia. There you're allowed to carry. And it's harder to get a permit there than it is even in the state. You have to have a state permit to even apply for the school permit. And then it's like hard to get it. It's very possible for everybody, but it's like you have to like it's very much restricted and carefully figured out. And it's the gun thing is such a weird thing because it makes you sound evil if you're like, I want guns everywhere. Like people who don't understand guns or have never used guns are gonna be like, oh, that sounds so reckless and dangerous.
Have you seen the Vice article where it was like a bullet sticks through a fence at some person's house, and actually read the article, but I want you to look up this picture. Look up the picture and tell me what's wrong. Vice article bullet. That's all you have to put in. I bet you it pops up. Unless they took it down. I hope they didn't take it down. Oh. If they took it down.
Oh my God.
I hope they.
Oh, is
Are
that
you
really
freaking
real?
serious?
That's a high caliber, high capacity magazine 50 cal BMG round right there.
So the bullet and the whole casing are through a bullet
Vice
hole.
responds to accusations. Bullet photo. El
Now we
Chapo's.
got onto Fox News.
Are you
Oh, no.
serious?
Vice has denied accusations Tuesday that they staged the photo of an unfired bullet stuck in a wall outside a home of El Chapo's son. What is going on?
Are
See,
you
this
serious?
This is just all this news is so BS. That's why I don't read this crap. A high caliber bullet poked at one of the gates outside Ovidio Guzman's house in Jesus Maria Sinaloa.
Oh my God.
Sinaloa.
That is crazy. They stuck that whole round in there and then took the picture.
The entire round is in the.
Yeah, if you're listening, it's well, you'll probably pop. Well,
I'll probably pop it up if I remember, but even if I didn't, it's the bullet is just the just the piece of lead in the end. Like when you think of a bullet,
Yeah.
you think of the, a round, one single unit of ammunition.
But there's the bullet
But
and the
actual bullet's
casing.
tiny. The casing, that's not a fired bullet because it's still all together. That's how you load it into the gun, not how it comes out.
So,
Oh my god.
in Vice's defense, what these cartel members actually do is, a lot of their guns don't have firing pins and whatnot, and so they will take a compressed air unit, right, and hook it up to the high capacity magazine clip, and it actually blows the actual bullet and casing out of the gun at such a high velocity. You get something like this.
Yeah, but the casing can't come out. The casing
The
can't
magazine
come through a
clip.
barrel.
No, seriously.
It's more like a blow dart gun.
Yeah. It's powered by compressed air.
Yeah, but you can't shoot the whole casing out. It's not going to fit through the barrel.
No, but you.
It won't come through.
Swear to God, Tyler.
Okay, so they it's specially modified. That's what they do. That's why they're trying to pass so much legislation.
It's a modified ghost gun,
yeah,
high capacity clip, compressed air blow dart gun.
And that's why they're trying to ban like certain types of drill bits because they have to bore through the barrel itself with a certain type of drill bit, like a hard carbide armored piercing drill
Carbide
bit.
diamond
And
cut.
so yeah, because you're right. Because with a normal non-modified high capacity barrel, heat resistant, right? The casing actually wouldn't go through, but when you have that drill bit,
Yep.
boom, you're home free.
You're home free. Need that air compressor too.
Yeah. So your Vice is still a credible news source.
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
You've convinced me.
Yeah.
I wasn't convinced, but you did bring up a lot of good points, especially when you said armor piercing drill bit. That really scared me. So the fear kind of overwhelmed the logic. So I'm very scared again.
Armor piercing.
That scared me like to my core. I'm shaking actually right now.
Shaking in your boots?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That picture kind of frightens me.
Yeah, the picture's so scary.
It's so scary.
Look at that bullet coming through.
Like I am that Vice journalist reporter is so brave for even getting near
That's true.
that wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So brave.
That's crazy, dude.
Well, boys, I think that was a really solid pod. We're getting
Wait.
What?
You guys were making fun of me yesterday on your previous episode.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
We
bit.
were.
I don't want to wear these headphones anyway.
We were making fun of you.
Yeah.
But we didn't say your name.
But now they know.
Now they know, yeah.
know.
Now
Well,
they
now
know.
they know, but you did what we said we didn't know if you'd do. You came on.
Of course I come
Yeah.
on, dude. I'm always
We weren't sure.
I'd always come on, dude. Every time you ask me, I'll be here. Every time you ask. Every time you ask, dude.
Excellent.
We can talk about girls.
Girl.
I know we touched on it
Yeah.
briefly at the start, but yeah, next time we'll unpack, do a deep dive. Maybe we'll go out, take the streets.
Yeah, we got to do some street videos.
Yeah,
Some street
The
videos.
street videos would be so funny.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how funny that'd be?
I can show you. We can go to the gym, Gus. We can. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you.
I can show you how.
We do a gym pod.
Do Gym Pod Riz test.
I can show
Gym
you
pod would be
how
insane.
to pick up the women.
Yeah. And then I'll explain it. I'll explain it on the pod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so. This guy Jeremy, dude, we had
Yeah.
him as a guest a couple weeks ago, but dude, his Riz, insane, bro. I mean, when this guy just goes into activate mode, he
Yeah.
activates, bro.
Then we got to go straight for the hose. We got to go to Planet Fitness.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God.
For them purple hose, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Do you have any last words?
Yeah, but we're gonna see that bullet right there on the windowsill.
That boy goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Any last words?
and I saw that modified drill right
Yeah,
there.
I have-
Sorry, man.
Actually, what you didn't notice, I've been drilling out this barrel. I have it behind my back with a armor piercing.
Yeah, you thought I was tying my shoe.
I actually have an anti-tank drill bit. That's land-to-air drill bit.
Yep.
Really?
And I'm just boring out.
Where's the compressed air tank? Where's the air tank?
It's actually
Oh.
under the couch.
Yep.
So if you look carefully, you'll see. Any last words?
Nah, man. It's been a pleasure, guys. Till next time.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
Roger
Of course,
that.
dude.
It's so exciting to hear. Dude, a man handshake at the end.
Well,
I love that.
One, you never shake a man's hand sitting down, sir. So let's do it again.
Okay. Sorry.
I stepped on my headphones.
That's okay. That's pretty good. All right.
You got an outro?
No, we just kind of end it. I fade it out usually.
And there we go.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah! This is crazy!